get a step closer towards the playoffs. As regulation ends, the points are going to get even hotter. The matches, even more barn burners and bangers. And people do not want to miss what happens on this episode, because we will, I do mean will, qualify some players, some teams over the playoffs, or maybe some teams over the stands like some fans. My name is Cool. I'm doing Vicious. We got a lot to talk about. Let me tell you what the points so far, and then Vicious, my boy, will break it down in terms of what's going on and who needs what. First of all, Reject at that top spot, 240. Hiroshima Team Itsuka not too far behind with the 220. ZETA Division Geekly, 180. DetonatioN FocusMe below all the playoff line to stay fine with 150. VARREL with 100. And FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN also tied with 100.
With the current breakdown of the point spread, obviously Reject has a pretty sizable lead. They're already qualified. They only need a few more points to confirm first place and broaden that lead against the number 2 team, Hiroshima Team Itsuka. However, when it comes to actually solidifying the qualification, that number 2 spot needs to be held by 20 more points. And with that in mind, ZETA Division Geekly, they've been doing a great job of coming up from that first half to make it into the playoffs with 60 more points actually to solidify their qualification. And of course, you got to make sure that you qualify in order for a chance to get that 15 million yen. But with that in mind, DetonatioN FocusMe, they need at least 30 points to qualify, but it's still dependent on how ZETA Division does this week. And then with VARREL and FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, well, a lot more points need to be held, and a lot more downfalls need to be held for the other teams involved in the running. So their percentages may not be as high, but it's not to say that they're completely out of the running just yet.
100%. You just have to play perfect to simply defeat them perfectly, get those 40 bombers going, and hope the differential is in your favor. But that's possible. It's doable. We've seen it out here at League where you might expect something to happen, and it doesn't at all. It's still in contention in terms of who's going to make it where, who's going to be that top spot. Even with Reject and Hiroshima Team Itsuka, who's going to be that top spot. The prime position for the playoffs is still undetermined. So we have a lot to go through, a lot to go over, and a lot to see today. And I would expect a lot in terms of like the players, what they're going to bring to the table. Everything in terms of like their strategy has to be picture perfect, who they play, how they play. And these runbacks have to be, I guess, different for the people that are lacking and slacking in terms of points. You don't want to be farmed out here. But that equals some great Street Fighter. I feel like it's been a fantastic time. Regulation play has been nothing short of excellent. And I expect the next 2 episodes, or next 3 episodes that we're going to have in total, including this one, to me, nothing short of amazing.
Right, I mean, it's going to be like the final moments before we get to bid adieu to some of the teams here, right? I think VARREL, FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN, they're currently tied at 100 points apiece, but they have, like, quite the challenge ahead of them, right? I feel like there's been somewhat of a skill disparity as we establish the current order of things in the placements of the rankings, right? Like, Hiroshima Team Itsuka versus VARREL is going to be our first matchup up. Hiroshima has been, like, the surprise team this year in comparison to the previous season, right? They didn't have, like, the hottest streak. They didn't really have a full-on squad that had that type of cohesion together, but they're definitely that much more improved, and it obviously shows with 220 points. But before we digress, even more so along the lines of like the individual awards, right? We talked about like what happens in regards to like the 15 million yen prize pool. There's still gonna be like that encouragement for the individuals to try to earn some of these awards, right? There's the Grand Final MVP, Division MVP, Rookie of the Year, Dry Gauge Efficiency Award, and of course the Drive Impact Award. So there's no doubt that at least if they don't make it into the playoffs, there's still that chance to get some sort of compensation for their hard work and talent, right? Speaking of hard working talent, I should say, from the side of the VTuber groups, we got Bespoke in collaboration, throwing down all of the post-game interviews for a lot of the teams, actually every single team, as we go on week after week. So be sure to check them out as the official ambassador of Street Fighter League Pro-Japan. But all that's said and done, man, we have ourselves quite the banger of a matchup set up. I mean, you can check it out at Capcom_esports. You can check out everything that goes on in the realm of Street Fighter League in Japan, etc. But in terms of match 2 and match 3, how do you feel about that, Cola?
Man, it's going to be hard fought. Hiroshima Team Itsuka, as you mentioned, being no longer like the dark horse, the shining star out in this season, and VARREL not getting what they need to get. Previously, it was Hiroshima's W. It's going to be hard fought. I feel like VARREL, it's a matter of like skill disparity in some ways, but also maybe just where they're not playing the players or characters properly, despite the fact that you have like Akuma on your squad. You've got a My Guy out there with a Cammy with him. It feels like they're not able to correctly place what they need to place to get the max amount of points. I feel like they've been, especially the last time we saw them, farm for points. We saw them get 40 bomb previously. So today's got to be a day where they got to step up and show out even more so. But against Hiroshima Team Itsuka, a team that is absolutely insane with the character selection, where they're placing people, their ideation. We're going to catch them right now to talk more about their players. coming up. Young man sees the future. Definitely coming through with one of the best edge I've ever seen. Some of the best movement I've seen in this game. No drive rush required. That's going to be a lightning fast speed star himself. Akira, more hot and cold this season. Do we feel like he is landing a lot more DPs than he needs to? Doing a great job of that Kami. Next up, the grappler instinct. No one want to go for those command grabs. The Mexican Typhoon King himself. It's Hibiki. Gets some big W's inside and outside of the Street Fighter League series. And last but definitely not least, it's the duelist, the strategist, whatever you want to call him. You call him up support. It's Aqua on the Blanca. I do think he'll be stepping up to the plate to fight things out. Will not spoil too much, but this team has been reigning supreme, only second to reject.
I love the way that the team has conducted themselves in regards to like picking out certain matchups for themselves. The practice they've put in preparation for any order in case they're on the away side, they've been quite impressive. I think they have to be easily the most improved team from previous season up to this point. But VARREL, they have quite the challenge ahead of them. We talked about what is on the line in regards to making it into the playoffs, right? There's two stipulations. You gotta score 80 points by the end of this season, and you have to ensure that ZETA Division Geekly does not make it through, along with DetonatioN FocusMe, to be quite fair. But we'll see how they respond in their potential final week of regulation season play. Starting things off with the exceptional Padmaster TS, one of my favorites with the Akuma right now in regards to their improvement. He has been an honor and truly a treat to watch. EWC qualifier, you already heard it from the announcer. It's YHC Mochi, the Yoga Monk. I want to see if he's going to be utilized for today's matchup. The Prince of the Rapids, we got Mizuha coming in also with a change up between the Kami to the Mai. We'll see how he performs in his possible final week into the playoffs. But of course, the Crimson Chin himself, the 2D God. It is Mago-san, who's got the laser-infused eyeballs now, right? He's got like the feng shui eyeball treatment that Jury got. No longer needs the glasses. I love that.
I do love the fact that, again, this team has had so many great players on it. They have the pieces. They just have to put them together. We haven't seen it happen, especially in the second half of the season, enough. But today could be the day. You know, in League, we talk about it, we've seen it. Anything can happen. Being on the home side definitely helps out to strategize a little bit easier as Hiroshima has to set up their squad up first. But when you see this squad, this is a nasty proposition. You got Blanca, Cammy, Ed, and Lily. Characters that are something like hard to either fight against, or the players are so different than other players, you have to prepare for them more than the characters themselves. And Adelaide, honestly, that cat has been so strong. Putting him in an anchor position makes sense to me. But what do you think about this composition overall?
Yeah, this is super strong, right? Like Aqua leading the pack, Akira with how offensive he can be with Cammy to kind of like gain, or either gain more points or pick up the pace where Aqua left off. And then Adelaide, he's been so impressive with that Ed. Like any of the Eds who have shown up this season have really like performed well. So I think this is just super sturdy. But yeah, I had a feeling a lot of the Blanca matchups we've been seeing throughout Street Fighter League US, a lot of the Blanca players have been countered against with Mai a good majority of the time. Primarily, MenRD has been faced off against Mai, and a lot of players have stepped up to the plate to face off with Mai. So kind of interesting to see. I think this is a character that was expected for this matchup specifically.
And it makes sense also for a little bit later on. I think TS should go up against like Akira's Cammy, because I think Akuma does really well there. Actually, Mochi on paper would do well against Ed, but Ed players have been so prepped and prepared. And Mago, maybe at the very end, or maybe we switch Mago with Mochi, but we'll have to see. That's for a little bit later. For right now, though, yeah, I do like the my pick from Mizuha. Cammy wouldn't be good here because the anti-air approach is so good from Blanca. He's got that heavy kick that's like a big old wall button, the back medium kick that we know him for. And I feel like the ground approach isn't too difficult for him. You know, there's obviously never stuff happen for Cammy. We can counter poke her crouching medium punch. Obviously, his can be too as well. So my pick makes sense. Throw out some variants with the fireballs, harass the drive gauge, and go from there. But Aqua's such a studious player. We've seen him study the game of Street Fighter V. We saw him have his own little Street Fighter League before, and he goes through the stats after every single match. So this guy is going to be prepped and prepared for no matter what happens.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there have been certain ranges where I feel like it's much harder for Blanca to react to even like try to duck under fireball. I do think Blanca's jump can be a little bit problematic though. I feel like it's got like this triangle arc to it, so it makes it much easier for Mai to space herself out for a DP. So it really depends on like if Akko can react or read to some of these fireballs. But even outside of that, I think Blanca's reach is pretty good to contest against my space traps, so it's pretty much like a back and forth, it feels like to me.
Yeah. We'll see what is presented here from Mizuha. And big ups to him to honestly, you know, kind of hyper-focusing on him for a second. If you watch his play from previous seasons or even how he plays in like the CPTs and things like that, very much more risky. And I feel like that's something the players have even talked about every so often on some of their YouTubes and things like that. But Mizuha's going to scale back when need be to give himself more solidity. So it's good to see him evolve his game plan, but not leave too much from what he was known for. Aqua in his interview says, though, it's episode 9, and we've been through so many things. We'd be qualified for the playoffs if we get 20 points. We'd like to see how it is to be in the first place position. Mizuha says, I did everything for the Blanca matchup. I'll do my best.
Yeah, pretty standard, right? I mean, like, you got to do what you got to do in regards to, like, learning the matchups, or at least, like, trying to adapt to what's been given to you throughout the season. I honestly have a lot of faith in like Mizuha at this point. Like him transitioning over from Kami to Mai is like a really strong one for like the individual, but I want to see him really perform his best today. Right? I feel like it's been a little just slightly underwhelming because we haven't seen him as present or like as dominating as like previous seasons, like going into like Street Fighter 5 and stuff. But we'll see if he's able to make a splash for what could potentially be the final lead for VARREL.
Oh. As you mentioned, big buttons right there with the crouch Pierce, get the punish counter. All getting a second bite. A second serving, Aqua. And with a third. Big back activities right now.
Aqua. Oh my god, so smothering too. That is not a lot of time or space to react to the overhead. Aqua, nice and easy, level 1. That's actually mad dastardly.
Round 2. Sneaking in that Rock Crusher, first round to him. Look at that slide fly, but not there. Aqua getting blocked out, level 1, Kagero no Mai. Quality starter for this character. Damage dealt out, also more pressure up the corner. Oh, lands the overhead. Got revenge. Franco for the medium overhead again. Oh, I'm talking about double service right here. Mizuha going for seconds as well. I like that.
And a big rebuttal too, having that perfect. Oh, the overheads sneaking its way through to start off, allowing him to get the fan mix up. Pretty important. What a time to press standing short.
Said heavy OD. Here's the activation point in orange. Gives it back in the green. I like that. Jabbar back towards the corner. It's the objective. So trying to find a time to hold parry. Does find the reversal button. Nice little punish counter. Alice at the corner gets the opening and the toss right after. Won't go for the pants just yet. Range to slide in. I like that with holding parry. Perfect, excuse me. The crouch finish follow-up. Ooh, beat it out the throw. Perfectly done. Kagero no Mai. Not even necessary. Excuse me, you have the enhancements for the damage. Mizuha, well done for the defensive options of Aqua. Switching it up in the corner after the post-fireball follow-up. Well done.
Yeah, you could see the kind of pressure like Mizuha presents, or Mai in general. The kind of pressure she would present after given enough space after an install to be able to start off with fans. With that fierce too. Oh, I like that. Yeah, catching the drive rush. They're trying to follow up if it's not going to be jab.
Or drop gauge and being able to cross-cut DP because the auto correction happened to the drive rush. Stand to the fireball. Things adding up in terms of damage here from Mizuha. Stable play from him. Too wildly just yet. Roll slide. Down base off the DP on the second attempt.
Damn, just raw rewind. What the hell was that?
Well, in his bones, I guess. Jump fierce, the throw right after. Aqua on the back, but so much, so often. Mizuha set point.
Damn, son. Aqua not in time to get that whiff punish initially. I mean, crouching medium punch from Blanca is mad long, so understandably so. We get the prevention from the overhead from the side of Aqua. A lot of his openings coming in from lights, but Mizuha, he's been on his whiff punish game for a hot minute. Back-to-back level 1s, that's extra damage. Drive rush on in. Immediate stop to fireball in front of Blanca's face. What a call. What a choice.
Almost activation, yeah. We're able to drive gauge, we'll take that trade. Or coming back, the jump back, puts him up in the corner. Gonna find a punch, but this is fine. He's on the counter poke. He should be able to finish it off with the Kakao no Mai. That's what's stealing. It's enough to kill Mizuha. 2-0 over Aqua. The study paid off. He hit the books to hit him. Perfectly done.
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. There were some moments where I felt like it was kind of questionable. Like obviously, like the Ryu Enbu point blank fireball after the drive rush. I'd imagine it's to prevent Aqua from waking up with level 1. That's the only thing that makes sense to me at the moment. I guess it was something that's like I'm willing to eat like an OD up ball as long as it's not a level 1. So very interesting choices from Mizuha, just really thinking ahead.
Counterpokes once again, set up shop for that same medium we saw, and then like the crouching medium punch whip. He was also backdashing outside the range where like a drive rush stand fierce or heavy kick would activate. Like he was aware of what's going to happen in terms of what Aqua and Blanca wanted to do for like an activation point or just to get things going, and felt like again having that sort of, I won't say pensive play, but less foot on the gas and more like I'll back off if I need to, if I confirms when I need to. Right after that is how Mizuha has evolved and how he's able to find success here. 2 games straight, 10 points for VARREL. Again, fighting chance. Even going into this, I thought Hiroshima Team Iisuka would have a good, easy chance considering what happened previously. But Mizuha proving me wrong so far. I want to see more. Who comes up next?
Ooh, kind of tough. For Akira, I would probably. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Mago.
Ooh.
I really wouldn't be surprised if I saw Mago for this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Mago Jury. Gonna be the one coming up. I think this is a matchup he's very much so familiar with, right? Like he's dabbled with this character too, like not necessarily in any sort of tournaments, but he's also like dabbled with this character on stream. He's also had a lot of practice specifically against Akira in just like regular battle lounges. If anybody's really watched like Mago streams, he hits up every single player as much as he can for like just random sets throughout his streams, and Akira has definitely been like a usual suspect in that lobby, so wouldn't be surprised that he would volunteer himself for this match.
I'm sure they played previously and he understands the tendencies that Akira wants to present, because you know Akira to be so different than other Kami players. He's very much a lot more aggressive, a lot more active. You know, he's obviously pulled back when he needs to. Instead of doing like 3 ODDPs on wake up, maybe do 2 or 1, but he's a lot more controlled in terms of his emotional play. But I do think that's a good choice. You know, I think TS would have been fine in terms of like on paper matchup spread, but I like that Mago has like the experience. And again, to get their team going with these points when he's possible, I like him continuing that momentum, continuing that heat that Mizuha put on.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too. Like, I think TS would be much more prepared, much more valuable in like an anchor spot, considering how he's been playing. But funny enough, I low-key am banking on YSC Mochi coming in for the anchor spot against Adley's end. I don't know if Adley would have any sort of practice against Dawson players, whereas YSC Mochi has shown some really good countermeasures against the matchup specifically.
You should have that practice over at EWC. I would like to see if, like, you know, Ellie has that, but I think Sim will come up at the end, and then we'll see the Akuma at the very end if it comes down to it. But we'll see if Mago can keep those points going. But again, I like that we see Mago. On the other hand of things, though, Akira, you know, I feel like once again, pointing to what he's been doing lately, he's a lot more on point than he usually is in terms of his confirms, in terms of what he's doing. He's a tech head, and we see it a lot more in his play. Akira says, though, usually do the cameraman for Mago, but we don't play with each other in competitions as much. Last time was Street Fighter V, and I lost that time. I want to get revenge. You've been thinking about this since Street Fighter V? How many years ago was that? That was like, what, 4 years ago? 5? I don't know. Whenever they played, but still, it's a lot of time to be thinking about something like that.
I try not to think about how many years ago Street Fighter V was. It feels like a fever dream sometimes. I'd like to think we skipped that era and went straight into 6. More often than not. But,
just flipped over.
Yeah. I will say, there have been a lot of like really fun times watching Akira play. He had some really big hero moments in Street Fighter V, and I think that like pretty much skyrocketed his like competitive career. So I can't take that away from him.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can be a hero. God willing, Mago is a villain, my man. DIing right back. You cannot put the Bushishi on and try to rob me. Mago ready. Nice interruption though. Talk about readiness. The counter combo coming through from Akira. Again, converting.
Checks it up behind the fireball, anticipating the dive kick as well. Mago not really overcommitting. Well, okay, that was unnecessary. That was uncalled for. My man Akira, from that far, did the spiral arrow. I'd imagine from that distance it would have been safe if blocked. So that clipping Mago and him going for an OD uppercut, I don't blame, because he didn't want to be in the corner so bad.
Rash with the buttons in the corner, the stand medium, the forward medium punch as well. Again, Akira needs to fight to confirm to get himself outside. A little DRC with a spiral arrow ender possibly. A little target combo. Let's go for the jump. I'll go up in the corner. DP pickup because you have him right there. Back against the wall. Stacking the hits. Oh no, the DP whips completely. The pinwheel outside the distance. Charge it up. Set it up for the dive kick right after the hooligan. Good defense so far from Mago though.
And he really hasn't been able to inch forward though. That's been a pretty big problem. Like Akira's been the one to kind of like slowly bulldog Jury into the corner and then also just wait for any sort of opening against Mago with a slight life lead. But now it looks pretty even. No uppercut, no nothing to test a neutral jump against Canny.
Tick throw, we break that though. Mago's back in the green. Not trying to initiate any, obviously, because we saw him get checked and challenged with the drive rush. Forward throw. Got some space in this place. Let a ball for Aki to utilize. One hit would be it. It could have been it. ODDP again, the bust out between the string. Oh boy.
A single hit from both ends. Akira's been rather patient. Trying to show off a little bit of a blazing card. Okay, never mind. Akira not ready for the forward throw. Mago tying it all up. He tried to be the first one to act. Akira going for another hooligan into this fast fall. Not really putting Mago on edge at all. Like not really forcing him to flinch, etc. He's been pretty damn patient, and now with that low forward opening into level 1, you can get that corner carry. What a time to weave past that defense. Yo, the stand jab as a counter hit does score the counter, or side switch, excuse me.
Over stand Pierce. Burns him out, I like that. Use these bigger buttons to put him in the gray. Harass with these folks every so often with the heavies and the mediums. Back medium actually catches him, but on the flip out, there's a life to the DP ender. Mago getting the counter hit, no conversion right after it though. Back in the green though. Mago's game to win. Been so good at slowing this down as I say that though. There was a counter hit that could have been a lot more from Akira. Again, stand block, gets the counter right after it. He could have finished the job. The low four connects. Now in the CA. Delta Red Assault. Akira.
Hella damage. Always ready for it too. Real close matches between the two thus far. You can see it kind of like stressing both players out. Excuse me. My man Akira's got his prayer hands to his forehead, taking deep breaths. Mago try to maintain compose, talking to his teammates as well.
Akira, please don't let this man miss a DP. Oh, and they know it. That's counterpoke, taking the turn when he couldn't. Akira knows the frames. Wrinkle kicks able to hit the second one. Coming through in the clutch. Kicks again, 3 stocks, up in the corner. DVC have to deal with. She has ways to get the fireball. You're just worried more about those extensions that she gets.
Bro, he's just walking up. Mago's not even trying to press the extended normal forward. Ooh, the punish cutter that was mad for. I don't think you can go straight into like the standing fierce after that.
Yeah, maybe need like a medium button, not sure. Counter hit, spiral arrow towards the corner. Side switch, you put yourself in the corner, you better find your way out. He finds the back medium in between the string. Perfectly done. Straight line smasher. Set point for Akira. What a call out. Beautifully done to get that DRC right after. The follow-up, even better for that.
The wrinkle kicks coming in. Taking their turns appropriately. We do get the punish from the side of Akira, forward throw. This is actually looking pretty tough for the side of Mago. At least it clears the corner. Gets to reset the neutral, or at least reset this pacing. We get the uppercut against the jump in. But immediately taken to the skies, the jump getting called. Sorry, the throw getting called on the side of Mago. Forward throw now. It's so scary to even try to extend a limb with Mago. Oh man, that was a sick conversion. What is this?
Oh, it drops. Throw right after, but you don't want it a lot more. Finally confirmed right here to stay on set point. If we don't drop this, yes sir. Crouch Fierce a little bit more behind to stay fine. It's good for Mago. But again, I think those are moments where if you're Mago, you're like, I cannot be blocking like this.
Oh, no uppercut.
Set point for Akira. You're right, no DP.
Empty jump, nothing for the throw. Counter hit! Oh, there's hella damage. Do you spend the rest of it? Oh, this is tough. If Mago gets an opening, I think he might be able to get a decent amount of damage to bring it pretty damn close, but he said, yo, Akira's sitting on a perfect. There's nothing! Nothing for the side of Mago! He throws it! He throws it away! The hopes and dreams of VARREL relying on at least a moment with an anti-air. The hopes and dreams of Team VARREL no longer available. Not able to anti-air within certain angles. There's certain angles where you can cover the options whether it's a dive kick or not, and I guess it's pretty tough from point blank, but if you see someone kind of like take to the skies like that, like Mago didn't even try to contest with like an air-to-air. That's tough.
That's real tough. No air throw, no jump medium, no chuck and challenge. We did see a DP whip previously, but I think that's an angle where, I mean, at that point, you're going to have to do it because you're about to die. But still, like, nothing doing from Mago. So many scenarios, I feel like we got drops on both sides. The shakiness, obviously, better off for Akira to, like, convert and be better off to, like, take care of what Mago's doing. I just feel like there were moments where Mago, I don't know how to put this the correct way without sounding mean, but, like, wasn't confirming what he usually does. The confidence that we see from Mago in terms of confirming off these lows and things like that, getting the most out of it, the footsies weren't fully there. But for Akira, the scramble scenarios were better off for him. He was dropping a few things, but more often than not, the counter hit situations were better for him. 10-10, but as you mentioned, VARREL might be out of the running. 99% chance they're probably out of the running. But all because my man wasn't able to anti-air and route it back. But even then, it was hard fought after that. Like, I don't know if Mago could have even won had he landed that and got a little bit of momentum. It felt like Akira had it in the bag right after that super hit.
That's kind of rough. If anything going into it, Hiroshima Team Ikusa only needs 10 more points to officially qualify. And then, since they're 10 points below Reject currently, with 230 points, they have an opportunity to leapfrog into the first place position for that favorable seeding. Yeah, I knew it! I called YHC Mochi for the Anchor's Dawson.
It only makes sense. Sim is one of the worst matchups for Ed, usually on paper, but I feel like even beyond all that, YHC has had so much practice fighting Sim players. The EWC probably practicing a lot with Lashar and having more experience, I think, and having longer time with Street Fighter and just in general. So I'm sure he's played a lot of Ed up to this point in Street Fighter 6, where Adeli is kind of on the newer side of things when it comes to Street Fighter 6 in terms of being in this pro position. So I would expect YHC to come up, at least try to clean things up and get some more points on the board, and deny points for Yoshihama Team at the very least play spoiler.
まあ見てる側になるわけなんですよね。ただまあ出てきたんで楽しみですね。
Yeah, this is the case where it's just going to be the anchors alone, right? There's no chance for a rebuttal for like the extra match. There's no tiebreaker to be involved. This is really, at this point, just to get yourself higher up in the running for Hiroshima Team Ikusa.
Let me see if YHC played any Ed players in the league. He hasn't played any Ed players in the league. In fact, when Lashar came to fight him, it was all Terry. So to me, that shows also the pensiveness of Lashar to pick that matchup in the first place, knowing the power of YHC, probably playing him over EWC or seeing what he did over EWC and be like, I don't want no pieces of that. So again, good option to send up YHC. However, Deli is so different than many players. It's not just like the character that he plays. It's his movement, his spacing, his timings with buttons, and his conversions are damn near perfect with like that stand fierce, especially to start the party. So I'm really excited to see how he's going to operate in this matchup. The Ed players have gotten better. It's so difficult. They have to find moments like mid-range crouching light kick to whip punish something and hope that you catch a button in recovery. And it's so difficult to navigate the limbs because Sim outranges you. And the fireballs create that barrier, so it's hard to get through. If they get in, they can definitely put some pressure on. But he does say that I knew YHC was coming against me. Did my practice earlier in the episodes, so I'll do my best to win.
That's the biggest like question mark for me is like how much practice has he had against Dalsum and against which Dalsums in particular, right? Like I haven't really been able to keep up thoroughly with any of like the notable Dalsums in Japan. Like one could look up on CFN and go through the legend rank. That's very easy, but it's like how much practice have those players had in a professional atmosphere? It's like grinding for points. Sure, that's one thing. But having like worldwide experience and like legacy experience at that's a whole different story. And YC Mochi has navigated Dalsum since we've seen him, like even in the extremely early days, as far as like Street Fighter 4. So there's a huge difference. I mean, like we've seen that difference too, just to base it off of Akido versus Mago, right? Mago had a lot of practice against Kazunoko, but he didn't really get to. Didn't really equate to the results he was looking for in that matchup particularly. So we'll see if Adley can contest against a Dalsum player like YFC Mochi.
Previously, Adley did beat Tormesh, but that's such a different sim. That's a sim that floats a lot. You know, this is more like to slug it out. YFC Mochi willing to battle it out on the ground more continuously. See how the difference is going to be mattered here. The Flicker trying to find a confirm anything at all for the Cripple Cell's going to punish counter. Nothing doing. YFC Mochi with the lead drive gauge. Now lead himself outside that corner with the knockdown teleport. Yeah, we're out of there. Anti-air with the jab. Gets the knockdown with the kill rush right after. Ooh, what a perfect turn in the divine kick. Take it towards the corner. Hard for Civic contest on defense. Wake up dive kick works out. Just can take his turn back right after that.
Yeah, catching on the way down with the crouching medium punch is kind of sick. Adley just about pretty low on the drive gauge as well. YFC Mochi hanging on too. Just looking to block it out. Drive rush forward. Now with the float, he's setting up the traps, right? He's putting out the labyrinth for Adley to navigate around. So many different angles right now being covered by Mochi.
Drive rush Sampier's too far out. Outlimbed. And outgunned. YFC Mochi, first round. Like the range that he's playing, that he knows how difficult it is for Ed to come through. Even right there, stops the drive rush from happening. Air to air, if the anti-air won't work out, get another option. The layup, the two-pointer.
I love this right now from YFC Mochi as well. Even like a few preventative measures against like the flicker. Also navigating around some of the normals that Adley's been trying to throw out there. Right, I like the Cobra Strike, but the Fireball coming in. Backing away from it. Very nice. Adley getting chunks of damage, also maintaining his focus around the Fireball. Really smart.
Without risking like an obvious ODDP against like a float option or like a float jump pierce. Let's go for a button instead of the drive rush. Straight into level 3 for the lead, and I don't mind this at all. You get a big lead here. It's like a one more touch interaction, depending on what you go for, like maybe a punish counter back throw. Either way, you're gonna go up that far for like a level 2 scenario for the next round if you get there. And he'll get there. Oh, I thought that the eye basically completely after the flip out, the back throw happens. YFC Mochi, chance at life.
Yeah, YFC Mochi can do this as well. I don't know what that was. He went for the level 1. YFC Mochi actually had a chance off of like a single hit confirm. Oh, brother, you could actually get drive impact if you can manage to sneak in against Adley. You try to dash. Oh, this is huge.
It's a fireball.
He's got it. One more. It doesn't matter. Yes, sir. YFC Mochi. The recognition of potential checkpoint of being able to get that DI. It's just a matter of him closing into space.
Do so confidently against a player that's so good at confirms or finding buttons on their own side of things. Takes a lot of work, but that's that old school play. He's been playing this game, been playing fighting games for years upon years, maybe longer than Adley's been around. As the option gets a drive rush, knowing the timings that he wants to come through and get in. Jump pierce, punish counter, level 1, dumping out the damage here. I like this routing. Big lead. This is what sim players all want. Have this big lead, you gotta come to him to get the win, get set up on his own accord.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Mochi is on fire right now.
It's beyond the matchup. It's like understanding Adelaide tendencies to drive rush, dash ups, the jumps, and things like that. We know it's difficult for Ed to get in, but the way this is played, it doesn't even matter if it was like 5-5. YFC Mochi is cooking at full screen without too much worry, it feels like so far. The jumps haven't been working out. Now he initiates with a divine kick.
It's so funky to even try to contest against Dawson when he drive rushes. Like, one of the strong suits of him having that drive rush is him being able to extend from further out. So you can't necessarily, like, consistently counter hit check him on the way through. Like, traditionally, like other characters, right? Like, finding that countermeasure doesn't really apply as well against Dawson.
You're not lying. So many different looks he can put on. Now the fireballs, one more touch. There we go. The yoga uppercut, knock him out of the air, and Adelaide not able to get in, not seems to be enough where we see the damage himself out. We haven't even seen a dream combo. Man's haven't given this old man a nap at all. Adelaide getting 2-0 so far. We have seen this before, though. He's fighting Goichi. He had the lead up, actually reverse. It was a lead up for Adelaide, and then Goichi came back, and then Adelaide after that won. So we haven't seen this. I lied. But we are seeing Waichimochi acclimate to the movement where he wants to stand, utilize the things that you mentioned to prevent him from coming through continuously, and then initiating, which some players don't really do, but Waichimochi want to slug it out with drive rush back medium kick, or even crouching medium punch or stand medium punch, roll the neutral and let it rip, but never get jumped in at least enough where it feels like it's problematic for him to run these buttons with fireballs.
Right. Yeah, even so, like if Mochi's in certain moments where he does get countered, it hasn't been as threatening. I think his defense is much more patient. He'll stand his ground temporarily, look for a throw, delay that tech, create space for himself off of said tech, and then kind of like mix his approach, whether like being in the air, whether it's float, whether it's like spacing himself out with like normals, or even throwing out the yoga arch. It's been really difficult to like keep the ground, keep the closure against Mochi in the corner, and it's also been rather difficult to anticipate whether or not he will teleport.
Which is crazy because Ez has such good lockdown approaches. He's got flicker, he's got fireball, he can have throw loops without drive rush, but he has so many good normals that can reach at some of these ranges that you're so worried about. It's like Chun-Li. You're not really worried about the throw loops as much as you're worried about all the other options that are presented with the range, the fireballs, but none of them are getting Waichimochi got. As you mentioned, when those moments happen where Adelaide does get in, the damage isn't being dealt out. There's like level 2, the flicker cancels aren't really there as much. It's just like a 2-piece, 3-piece or whatever into a knockdown where Waichimochi innately survives. He's not doing like a wake up DP or whatever to survive. As you mentioned, he's breaking throws and he needs to. He's staying patient to not get opened up with counter conversions that lead to more snowballing. He's been chilling when he needs to. He understands the assignment. They played before. That was his training partner for the last episode. So he's taking that data in to fight him right now.
So what do you think needs to be done from the side of Adelaide to potentially smother out Mochi?
When I watched this matchup be played from Lashar, and from I've talked to Lashar a little bit about this, he's like, you have to kind of slim down the amount of normals you're utilizing, and you have to go from there. Stand medium kick and crouching light kick, when you get proper ranges against like heavy kick, or like the stand medium kick of Sim, you have to look out for those buttons more often than not, and then just walk your way in. I feel like Adelaide's taking a lot of damage trying to get in. I feel like he's not blocking so patiently like you would see like someone like Lashar doing. He's eating so much damage that at that point, you've lost half your health, Sim's chilling, and he's initiating on his own terms. So that's something we're not seeing so much from Adelaide.
We'll see if that change ever comes through. We got 2 games on the side of YXC Mochi already. If there's any sort of adaptation that needs to be made, it has to be now.
All right, so only approach, but he's eating damage on the way in. Dodge kick happens. The light punch, trying to go for the shimmy. Then believe in the button right after. So gets the back throw. It's like right there, you have to be so ready for those buttons to get burnt and drive rush on in, but it is hard. Difficult asking someone like Waichimochi who is structuring these buttons. So well, that's what I'm talking about. Crouching like against the heavy, gets a knockdown, time to steamroll.
Oh, I like that. Yo, Adelaide is actually creating a lot of space for himself in case YXC Mochi whips a normal, but now he's changed up the pace, right? He's gone straight into the mediums, not even trying to slide forward. Now the float to intimidate. I like that pickup from Adelaide. Mid-air, he's gonna back away. He's gonna force him to back away. No, he's moving back on in. The drill, that's a punish, but it's still too high up to get any sort of follow-up from YXC Mochi. He's just running into normals yet again. It's rough. It's so difficult. Mochi 2 steps ahead into the drill, looking at match point, both with 2 bars apiece. Roundhouse canceled into the fireball. The angles are being covered for the approach.
YShimochi continuously in the range. We can interrupt Spark if it does come through with that low. In the range, we can anti with the Yoga Lance or Yoga Uppercut. He's getting walked up in the corner, but he's felt fine to do so. All right, flicker cancel. Up in the corner, make something of this. The throw. When you see that confidence from Adelaide, we saw previously. Nice and meaty with it. Oh, again. OD for the pickup. Now get the counter in. A lot more activity from YShimochi on defense. But it's all offense from Adelaide. The speed bag. Spin the bar to get the kill.
Beautiful, beautiful rebuttal coming in from Adelaide. Staying alive. Giving the round on the board in this critical moment. Still got 2 bars to his name. YShimochi, how do you set up yet again? Off the arch. Coming through. Adelaide forced to back away.
More of the comments coming through in the fireballs. Weaves in between these buttons. Skates on the fireball, the trade. Has him right where he wants him, but YShimochi might go for more teleports on out when he finds a knockdown now. Saw the difficulty of Adelaide put down that pressure in the corner. But will he even need it? He's striking out the stand mediums.
Oh. Mochi is not really kind of budged towards going for these teleports. Throw getting blown up! What a read from Adelaide. Out of there! Hella damage incoming. Oh. That caught the startup of the crouching fierce against YShimochi. Good call out from Adelaide.
Great button timing, great understanding. Not overextending too much. The proper ranges and making the most of these interactions that we asked for before Adelaide is delivered. On top of this though, YShimochi not able to get a situation where you get a knockdown properly to teleport on out. So that wasn't really given in the first place. I feel like the Adelaide was looking out for that regardless. But this is what you want to see. Slow movement, slow pace, walk down. He is eating a few hits here and there, but overall is blocking a lot more. It feels like instead of trying to drive rush on up, and then finding buttons he can confirm against. As we saw, the heavy kick got whipped, the crouching light kick was there, the punish was there, the drive rush up was right after, and so he's able to get aggressive and active and kind of take that health away from YShimochi and stop making him feel so confident and comfortable in this full range.
I would agree with that. I think there's got to be something more coming in from Adelaide to like prevent that confidence from coming in from Mochi, right? I think he's just been too adamant about like throwing out some of these mediums to strike out Adelaide on his forward movement. I think primarily that. But it's understandable because every other approach that YShimochi has had to like steal space to move on in in moments where I feel like he just wants to get away from the corner, Adelaide's blown up, right? Slide has been primarily challenged. Even certain moments, if Adelaide takes to the skies and tries to like drill in, he's had in earlier parts of the game. But right now, I think Adelaide's got a good rhythm against Mochi. I think there are definitely some moments where he's gotten clipped by mediums, but I think if he's willing to possibly just like walk his way in, eventually he'll find his moments. I don't think we're gonna see too much flicker anymore in this part of the matchup. We're not going to see as many sparks in the fireball in this matchup unless you screen off of a knockdown, etc. I think Adelaide's found a pretty good focal point against YShimochi's limb usage at certain ranges.
I like that. He's slimming it down. Like, you know, put it towards the normals, work from there. The fireballs aren't working out. They're just giving him more access to damage. So go back to a few basic things to find access and then work from there and then evolve that game plan when you get him up in the corner. For the side of YShimochi though, I wonder if initiation from his side of things would work out a little bit better to kind of switch up the pressure that he's putting on, because I feel like before the corner pressure gets started, you kind of have to sim it. Obviously, as sim, you don't want to have to be there. So how difficult it could be in this match and other matches. So maybe that drive rush back medium kick to initiate in between some of these fireball strings to catch Adelaide off guard might help out. I do like the jump float fierces every so often. There's still difficulty in Ed dealing with that. He has to go for the mediums and things like that to tag those, and some of the heavies sometimes too, more of the medium, I guess, crouching medium kick. But regardless, finding those options is more difficult for Ed than it is for Sim. So with that variance, that may put Adelaide on the back foot. We'll see what it needs to be out here in terms of like the switch up. If it even happen, Adelaide will make that return over seat.
See how it goes. We'll see if that adaptation happens. Sitting and waiting for that medium. You see the roundhouse whiff above Adelaide. He's gonna slowly try to move his way in. But he's taking so much damage to the drive gauge too. That's one of the other big concerns, right? If Adelaide tries to walk and block his way in, he takes so much damage to the drive gauge. Is he willing to sacrifice that?
It's true. Perfect parry of fireball here and there, but then the limbs coming through and it's hard to contest. That's why you see the variance right there. The light. Anti with the Yoga Lance, the fireball. Drive rush back throw. Again, I like this initiation from Waichimochi. Oh, what was that?
No idea. Ooh, catch the light! The punish counter, Adley. It's a good read. We'll take that exchange. The roundhouse to the float's fierce.
The side switch will find the confirm instead. Waichimochi on set point now. I like this variance. Sometimes we drive rush up, once we confirm, you know, into like a little bit of damage here and there. We're going for the float, rotating all the defensive options that you see from Sim. Not just staying in one spot, but once again, the crouching light kick coming through against that heavy kick. And they find the timing and the punish he needs. It's in range. Can he stay there?
Yeah, Waichimochi pretty adamant about just pushing back Adelaide. Making a statement against the drive gauge. Oh, that was a weird interaction. Why did it hit only once? Huh?
They fixed that.
It hit only once and it caused a hard, like not a hard knockdown, but it just caused the character to drop. That's rather weird. I think that might be a bug.
Adelaide losing a lot of drive gauge right now. Waichimochi seeing a lot of green, gonna initiate right here. Try to kill the rest with the flame. Fireball's there, no slide though. Range kind of dicey. I understand why you wouldn't want to do that. You're almost at death door. Holding parry. Perfect parry, the punish right after. Perfectly done. Adelaide. Speed back this man. Bam.
Creating a lot of space for himself with art, and also like backing himself up if he does want to slide. I like that. Beating Adelaide to the punch quite literally. Double blast into the reset. This guy's moving. The first time we get to see some real layered offense from the side of Waichimochi.
A lot of butter behind it. Shimmy with the knockdown. We like the Oki after this. Mr. Barb trying to go for the shimmy. Waichimochi not biting. On the bar at the bottom, Waichimochi can definitely make it a huge dent. Some of that help. Just needs a few checks. This is the start. Should be a finish real soon. All the bar in the world. Again, giving the heavy kick has been so problematic. Adelaide looking out for just specific buttons. Just waiting for that to come through.
I like this. This is so tense too. We get the forward throw, dash up, side delay. Waichimochi, he only needed a drive rush cancel. But now Adelaide gets to be on the board once more. Perhaps. I think Waichimochi's barely living.
Scaling wood, saving
no
It's
way!
enough damage. Oh my God, Vicious.
There was so much scaling involved in that, and his life bar was just barely at the yellow upon activation. It was barely at the cusp of killing. But Waichimochi, he had 2 crouch jabs. He had all of his drive gauge. He had level 3 as well. He dropped it. He went for a 3rd crouch jab and it whiffed. The drop from Mochi.
That was it. Read it back, Adelaide. Has it back up in the corner. I like the flickers a lot closer. It's like a deterrent. Gets movement also to kill some of that drive gauge. Not using raw and neutral anymore. And again, that crouching light kick has been such a star for this character, for Adelaide. Trying to catch some of these buttons. Pare it down. Oh, from the heavy to hit though. Teleport on out of the corner. That's a win though. She wants to get some space.
Oh. Perfect parry, catching on the way in too. Waichimochi, a little bit of trouble. What a call out against the drill. That neutral jump is everything for Adelaide. However, the float's coming in now. Waichimochi creating some space for himself.
Again, loving that crouching light kick. Not a lot of recovery compared to other buttons. Speedier. To the anti right there with the yoga uppercut. Catches the walk back. Will drive rush in to complete the combo. Level 1. High enough to fly. Let it rip. Set point Adelaide.
Beautiful. Well orchestrated. Adley picking apart YT Mochi with very, very important reads, especially all off of that neutral jump, and then catching the drills, etc. Everything's been really coming up in Adley's favor. Now we're seeing YT Mochi initiate off of the fireballs, right? We're seeing a lot more Yoga Fires, we're seeing a lot more teleports on the other side, but now Adley, he wanted that. He's like, you know what? Come get me.
This is how I win. Gonna walk him down with the jump, and he gets it clean. Unfortunately, the anti-air just too slow on the draw. They're bumping up bar for that level 3 just yet, though. The flip out, the walk-up throw. One more touch. I try to smooth this man on outside. That 3-2 deficit, the perfect parry, no button right after. One single hit, an OD fireball, OD flicker could definitely help out here to kill. So different options. Adley sitting pretty. Go take these hits. They're fine.
Oh my. What do you do about this? What do you do about this if you're YC Mochi? Do you set up with another set of fireballs, Yoga Arc perhaps? You do have a lot of drive gauge to use. 28 seconds on the clock too. Adley not gonna budge up until this point! And it's just when the iron is hot for YC Mochi in terms of trying to pick up the pace, Adley comes in swinging with the drive rush. And it's gonna be Hiroshima Team Ikuza leapfrogging over Reject temporarily in these first set of matches. Excellent work. 30 points for the team.
Wow.
What a reversal.
Excellent. Adaptations were pristine. Understand that pair things back, saying I'm doing too much in the neutral. Flicker ain't working out. Fireball ain't working out. Let me get a little bit closer with the crouching light kick, look for your buttons and hyper focus, and then evolve from there. That's what should be done in this matchup. We see from Lashar and other Ed players. We've also seen from Adley. He just couldn't find the timings. He also found himself walking into a lot of buttons and losing so much health. And then after that, he was like, wait a minute. If I walk and block, I play these buttons better, and I make more reward when I find these hits, put them on the back foot, I'm gonna take my W. In reverse though, you were mentioning YT Mochi, what he should do, and you were talking about the bar usage. I really do think, and I agree with this, more OD Fireball could have came out at the very end to create some of that variance in the neutral. When you're rotating all those different options, it's harder for Ed to hyper-focus on things that he's looking for and create that visual variance at the minimum. And at maximum, get more damage, you find those confirms. But Adley, though, the proper timings for the jump-ins, the reads, when we see with the normals, like faster than what Sim like to present, just beautiful in terms of adaptations.
Right, like even just chasing down behind it, right? Whether it's like Yoga Arc, whether it's Yoga Fire, like floating alongside it, teleporting, just moving along with it in that exact situation, it would have definitely prevented Adley, or at least forced him to second guess whether or not he wants to drive rush forward, right? There's not much that Adley can do as Ed to, I guess, like go past that fireball, to go past that obstacle. So it's really interesting to see like Mochi reluctant to even use the rest of that drive gauge. Like he used it for a drive rush, he used it for an OD temporarily. He was trying to gain some more, and then he moved in without it. Like he moved in without even trying to back himself up, which is kind of astonishing because like I think there's just so much more that you can do to close that space other than just trying to dash forward.
That's Hiroshima Team Itsuka, 30 points to 10 over VARREL. Another victory over them. Hibiki was on the bench, but yeah, could have came through and took that W if they needed it. But this is good. This means Hiroshima Team Itsuka already qualified. They passed 20 points, but as you mentioned, leapfrogging over Reject for now. We'll see what happens with Reject actually in the next match. Before we get to all that, we're going to get the interviews from the players. But well done to all the players. Even though Aqua kind of got cooked up a little bit with the Mai, I think that was more Mizuha doing a lot of studious work to fight that character. And I would expect, you know, Aqua to kind of turn up a little bit later on, especially at the playoffs, and maybe present that C Viper. Maybe. It'll be a little bit of time in between, so we might see the C Viper.
Wait, for who?
For Aqua.
Yeah, I guess so. I think as of late, he'll like dabble with the character, but he's still primarily focusing on like Blanca and JP. But JP's also been taking a pretty hot seat on the bench.
Surprising considering how strong that character is, but regardless, Hiroshima Team Itsuka, good variation of characters, players, and I like the way they're playing and putting where they're playing their players. You know, I like where they're putting Adley in the active position, knowing how strong he is and how those adaptations will come through for him a little bit more often. I like when they play certain players to kind of get the flow going with Akira. I also like having Hibiki switch out every so often. He's in the extra position where it's hard for to prepare for him. And then also sometimes we see him as like a surprise pick in the first two. We saw that with Yanai. So this team last season was a dark horse for many like like the players I was talking to, they were like, yeah, we're kind of worried about them. These guys are kind of godlike. And they didn't do too bad, but this season they have been fantastic, exceeding expectations. Hibiki says in his interview, really happy that we confirmed qualification for the playoffs. I'm mostly an extra spot in the away side, so I'm getting ready for anything, but I'm really happy we won.
I kind of want to take a look at what the previous season's score was for this exact team. I want to check that out real quickly as we get ready for the next one. If I'm not mistaken, let me go ahead and see what the ranking was. Okay. So, looking at Division F, let's double check right now if this website would load correctly. You know, it is what it is. I don't think it will, but okay, there we go. So, Hiroshima Team Ikusa, it was like all the young guys mostly. It was like Aqua, Jazzy, Hibiki, and Hikaru. They ended up getting 230 points. However, by like, actually they were doing all right. I think they were indeed the dark horse, right? By the 4th episode, they were at the top of the leaderboard, and then they slowly fell to 3rd place by the 5th, 6th, and the rest of the season. 5th, 6th episode, and the rest of the season. So yeah, kind of crazy to see like how much they've grown.
Good to see. I like this from the various players that they have. And I like that they're adding, or continuously adding young players, and even Hibiki himself, I feel like he's evolved so much in terms of like his defensive timings and tactics and things like that. He's running a neutral. In terms of like the interview, going back to that, Aqua says, I was looking at Mina's replays in Street Fighter League US. I was thinking, I can do the same thing, but unfortunately I lost. I'll get better by the playoffs. Listen, it's hard to copy an Evo champion, man. It's difficult. It's difficult. Akira says, my game was a really close one, but I'm really happy I was able to win. But no more talking about me. Let's talk about Adelaide. He's today's hero.
I would agree with that. Funny enough, yeah, like Aqua, there's a lot of data against like all the my players that like Mena had to face off against, and I don't blame him trying to study that. So excellent work, at least excellent attempt. But Miso had some really good strategies, like really bold countermeasures against like certain strategies that would like lock down the usage of level 1. And also, what the hell was that Ryu Enbu? I still don't know what the hell that was. That was so random. That's the only thing that'll like pull me back from my professionalism and be like, what just happened? That's mad random.
What was that? Maybe go back and look and see if like level 1 doesn't clear it or something. Like you said, maybe
no, it does.
Looking for a better option.
Level 1 clears you.
Okay, so then yeah, I don't know. Either way, you say I'm not feeling well after that close game. I mean, that was definitely a hard-fought victory. As simple as it is for Ed, it's also hard to fight someone like Waichimochi and his tendencies. But during the timeout, there was some good advice from the team, and we all did just as the team said. So I really like the way that he adjusted his offense, how he pared down his buttons. Instead of using too much, he used only what he needed to. That's something that you don't see a lot in fighting games, or talked about a lot in fighting games. Sometimes less is more, so you can focus on the things that you need to focus on and use those buttons like crouching leg kick, as we mentioned, and go for the meaties when you get them. And then you don't need to do fireballs and flicker if they're going to get you in trouble, if you're going to get hit by those and give them damage. There's no necessity. So like the Adelaide, pull back on that and use what he needed to get the W.
Yeah, I really love the current composition of Hiroshima Team Ikusa. Just to kind of summarize everything that had gone through, like episode after episode. Like seeing them in the top spot is really well deserved, man. I think this entire group is such a like character spread wise so good against the meta, and also so strong in terms of like their individual strength. So really happy to see it. The only anomaly there is like Hibiki, and that guy's like a superhuman. This guy taking Lily further than anyone could ever imagine in the world. He's got to be the best the best Lily player in the world, like hands down. I know there's some representatives in EU. I know there's some representatives in the US, but like Hibiki, I feel like is the only one doing it big with his character. So it's like you have 3 sturdy characters of Blanca, Cammy, Ed, potential JP, and then also like a Lily player to throw people off. It's like a really solid formula for success. So I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the fact that our sponsors coming through for Street Fighter League Japan have been mad reliable, right? Galleria has been providing really sturdy and stable PC setups throughout the entirety of Tokyo. I don't know like how further out they reach into like the Asia region or even like outside of Tokyo, but they've been doing a great job of being a main supplier for a lot of the esports out there, and I'm glad they're in the realm of the FGC. I had the luxury of being able to like broadcast on one and play a ton of sets for like 8 hours straight, and it felt phenomenal. So really enjoyed that from the Galleria coming in for a big sponsorship towards SFL.
Speaking of big sponsorships, shouts out to Suzuki once again, the official partner for the Capcom Esports. Suzuki has been having their bikes over at many of the Capcom events. You've been able to take pictures. I haven't been able to. And once again, as they hopefully make more of the bikes and more of the designs, I'd like to see maybe some Alex, some Akuma, but that Dre 1 is super sick. So if you see it at an event, go ahead and take a picture. And again, give big love up to Suzuki. They are a sponsor that's a wild sponsor to think about outside of like the FGC or gaming. To see them come in here and help out, nothing short of excellent. So thank you so much for all that they have done to the community and for Street Fighter League. Help put this on and help these players get even more for their hard efforts and hard work. Now,
I wonder if
beyond all this, I definitely
like,
take a picture.
I want to see if they'll actually give out a bike for the winner. That would be kind of sick. Ooh. But maybe that's talks for another season. Either way, hey, you guys have tuned into the first one. Stay tuned for the next one. Detonation FocusMe versus Reject coming up for you right after these quick breaks. See you soon.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
さあ、やりましょうか。いい？これでお休みなさい。え？そうね。さてと、さっさと片付けましょう。
United Kingdom.
人使い荒いわ。
comes a new challenger. Viper wins.
速やかに消します。毒で彩る戦場。
大カプコン展、ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン、ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
梅原さんのアドバイス良かったっすわ。
これは一番怖いポイントではあるでしょう。ボディハードの押し返し、後続だけで OK という体力、後ろ投げを受け入れる。
とはいえもう一回波動と OD 波動の余命が
オーディションになってもいいかもしれないね。
インパクトは TS ももう
そう
で顎に襲いかかるレーシャーとテリー。
お、美味しいよ。
これは距離離せないですね。
ドライブゲージは戻ってこない。フーからカウンターバレ削りボブレル。
後ろ投げ食らわなければという感じでしょうね。
カゲルの前から
削りに行きました。
ナイス。
そうだ。さあ削りも見えてる状況。
おお、いいね。
あれ？適当。適当なんだ。
中断だ。ここに来ての中断。まだ残る。
回復あるよ。回復見るよ。
ドライブ回復しますよ、51が。
51はドライブゲージが戻ってくる。クロスから中断。
ナイス。
でかい。抜ける。
ガンよりガンより。
削りが
時間もない。
ドライブゲージも戻ってくる間。どうだ。
期間どう？いくだろ。危ねえ。危ねえ。ギリチョンだったぞ今。
Just like that, another matchup underway. Detonation FocusMe more so on the hot seat in comparison to their opponent's team Reject, who were previously at the first place spot with 240 points. But they have a chance to reclaim that position. As you can see the scoreboard on the right for the current standings. Detonation FocusMe need at least 30 points to qualify, but it's also dependent on how ZETA division does overall, which is going to be happening in match number 3. Vicious here with Senkola to bring all of the deets and also the match breakdowns as it goes along for match 2.
I'll go through, as you mentioned, Detonation FocusMe needs those points to stay in contention, and then again depends on ZETA. So they're definitely playing on the downfall of their later opponent, or at least opponent that they are facing off the screen. But Reject, as you mentioned, would like to get that prime position at the top spot to have the best team possible in playoffs, so they're not going to be lacking or whatever, or trying new things or whatever. I think they're going to be trying to gun for as many points as possible and try to get that W, get that 40 bomb. And that might happen. We'll see. But first, we're going to start off with Team Detonation. You better focus up. Now it's time to focus on me. Team Detonation, focus me. Let's talk about these players. It's a trickster. Johnny Tech coming through. Both with the Jamies and the Rashid taking a swing at the sauce continuously. Love seeing him play with that Jamie. And also love seeing the Jade playing, because no matter what fiery character it is, he gonna main him. It's now been on the Kin, but more recently and a lot more importantly, on the mind. It's the unprecedented, the man that stands atop many games. That's why it's one in his name. It's Goichi on the Chun-Li. Maybe can if he needs it, but usually with the Footsie Master and the Cyclone Commander, or the meal ticket, whatever you want to call him. I'll call him up for a meal. It's Inabashi's name, Geef. Cause some grief with that Geef. We'll see if he pulls out Mayumasu Marisa today. Possibly. We'll have to see. But this team needs to be able to put everything together to get that W. And again, as you mentioned, some 30 points to have a shooting shot at that playoff position. What is John doing, bro?
I'm excited for it, man. He's showing some love, brother. He's showing some love.
Okay.
Now, this is quite the team to face off against, right? Like, if you need 30 points to qualify, this team is looking to gatekeep the hell out of you. Hopefully, with Reject, they can reclaim the first place, and we'll see if they'll reject Detonation FocusMe from getting into the playoffs in the first place. So let's check it out. Check it out now. The 4 players making the composition of this BC team, obviously starting with the Beast, Daigo Umehara. I don't know if he's going to be playing today. I hope so, though. And of course, one of the All-Stars, the attack on heavy tank, Udo-san. And the ones that were looking for this man earlier, guess what? He's on Team Reject. It's the Korean Golden Finger, Lashar. Last but not least, one of our favorites in the FGC, it is Tokido, rejecting the limit, the FG Scout, making quite the heavy team. Let's see if they can clear Detonation FocusMe and secure their spot even further into the playoffs with the #1 seeding. All they need right now is 10 points to tie Team Igusa and 20 to clear them out for the #1 seeding into the playoffs. We'll find out if they're going to be capable of doing so against Detonation FocusMe and the Runback. Now, in comparison to how they played against each other before, I am kind of curious to see what differences are going to be made for this team. Taking a look at it right now, this is what the away order is.
I like this order because if you need as many points as possible, I think Goichi got to go up in anchor position no matter what. Like, he's got to be there. That guy's godlike. John Taguchi in second position, and Nauman in first, and then making sure that Ida-san's going to be counterpicked by a possible Ed. That makes sense to me also, or Terry. So I think that matchup can be kind of dicey too as well. So I like this order. I like this order for Team Detonation FocusMe. They like to close it out before things get bad. But man, when you look at Reject's team, beyond the players, the characters that they have, they can fit damn near everywhere. So they can go up so many different places because their characters are so strong. We're going to be setting up Tokido first, so I would assume after that will be Fudo, Lashar, and maybe Daigo. Could be switching up. I like Tokido starting things off to start off in terms of getting point acquisition. But Reject is home or away side, difficult to deal with. But do you think it's something different? You thought maybe something different was going to come through?
Well, I didn't think Daigo was going to face off against this matchup because he got cleared out by Nauman 2-0. So I figured like Tokido would step up to the plate and change that dynamic. I think he would still reserve Lashar for John Takeuchi, and I still think he would put Fudo up against Goichi. Funny enough, now that I think about it, maybe Fudo would face off against John and Lashar would be reserved for Goichi, possibly with Terry instead of Ed. If they really wanted to like thoroughly fix their, I guess, their matchup from previous standings. Like, although it went by the way of Reject getting their W 30-10, I still think like putting someone like Fudo up against John Takeuchi would net some pretty decent points against the Jamie play, and then Lashar giving Goichi a much harder time with Terry to secure the W would be reasonable.
I agree with that strategy. I feel like having Fudo can be aggressive and keep up with someone like John Takeuchi would be great. And then someone like Lashar being able to have the Terry pick. And then, you know, the Ed pick could be there, but Terry just in general be able to contest against like Chun's fireballs, skate underneath, and be hard for her to approach right after. That'd be a good pick. And then Daigo, if need be in the extra position, I think he's well lapped out. I know he said on his recent content, YouTube, I think it was like the second or third one that he had just recently, was like Marisa is like his worst matchup currently right now. So he probably doesn't have to fight that, but the hope is to not have it to happen, right? Is to have these catches, clear that out before that even becomes a threat. So that all being said, I like Tokido coming up first. I like him starting things off. That's the first of two. And I remember the match that Tokido and Nauman had, where it felt like every time that in the mirror match, at least in season 1, Nauman was in the corner, he would find his way out, get Tokido and counter poke him. So it's a little bit of a run back from previous seasons, but obviously things have been different in terms of like the character changes. Tokido has kept to the kin, and Nauman on the Mai. But man, this guy is so studious. It's so difficult to fight Tokido in any position, first to 2, first to 3, because he is so good at understanding what you want to do and figure out what you want to do. If it takes a round to do so, whatever it may be, he'll figure out what your game plan is and dissect you. But Nauman's been getting, you know, not that bad out here and outside the league. Actually, let me check his stats before I say all that. I don't know how Nauman's been doing. Let me see. Let's see here. Nauman, what's your win rate like? With the Mai, mostly. I don't know if we've even seen the Ken. Not been too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so far in terms of taking some W's, he's taken 4 W's so far. Lost 2 games, so he's not doing too bad on the Mai.
Yeah, not bad at all. And like one of the W's he did get was against his team. So I am not too worried in regards to like transitioning from one Shoto to another. He doesn't have to worry about the zoning aspect of the game as often. Like if you make the comparison between like Ken to Akuma, there's a lot more activity, especially with the way that Daigo wants to throw out fireballs specifically, and the speed of Akuma's fireballs that really deter Mai from throwing out fans. I don't think you have to worry about that as much with Ken. Although Ken does have like his own ways of stopping out Mai's fireballs, etc., and also like being able to like maybe run DP. I don't think those are gonna be like valid enough strategies to prevent Nauman from doing. And on top of that, I think there's going to be a whole different dynamic with the way that Tokido wants to space out some of his normals. I think his reach is going to be just as good, if not better, than the things that Mai wants to do in neutral. So medium punch does kind of get outreached by the standing fear, standing roundhouse as well. And Tokido, he's kind of hovering around that space already, around the mediums. But it's low medium kick that does get exposed first, actually. Tokido within that space, overhead, now into the throw. I like the start from Nauman, covering the jump in, excuse me.
Have the corner position. I guess wait for the throw. Perfect parry. They'll take that trade at the very least. With the follow-up, but you have him right where you want him, or so we thought. Cage Beast fighting out perfectly with the stand fierce, not with Omai. Falls in the fireball, the drive by stand fierce to get the follow-up and the finish. What a fatality. First round. Nauman. Perfect kill.
I like that. Attempting to follow up parry. Getting the punish counter on that as well. Standing medium kick, that was a counter. Tokido trying to move on in, which he does. The dash up surprise into a little medium kick. Ooh,
punishing that defensive stand pierce, very smart stuff. Oh, he could have had it. Like this and burnout. Have options. Jumps right back in again. I like that. Jump back, jump forward. They call it the fireball. The initiator, excuse me. Nauman not able to get going on the burnout opportunity.
you get the enhanced Tatsu now into the corner pressure, knocking on the door, changing up the timing on the crouching jab is very important to sneaking that grab. Overhead is connected off of the Jinrai forward throw yet again. Tokido is off to the races, draining a lot of drive gauge, draining a lot of health, but it's Nauman finding the rebuttal. Level 3, eat this instead!
Huge lead for Tokido. Drop gauge looking a little bit depleted right now. Nauman, what are we doing here? You need like a level 1 activation to even get started, but it's a low. Gonna stop all that from happening. Tokido using the Jinrai to sniff out the defensive approaches and the tactics. Did see one get interrupted, but for the most part, the drop gauge getting depleted from these. And also like him sneaking in heavy kick and stand fierce, killing the drop gauge from there as well. Also been doing the most with this character. So proving that Ken got it. Game point for him. Perfect parry and the punish right after, or really just checking the walk up.
Showed up for yourself. Crouch jab to cover. Nauman, no chance of escape, at least temporarily. The drive impact, absorbing 2 blows. Can we get the burnout? We do successfully at the cost of our own, though.
Be worth it. Crouch fierce conversion. Oki reversal jabs against the overhead. Set point for Tokido. Well laid out this matchup so far. And really, Tokido's kept that lead so expeditiously. It's hard for Nauman to get going. DI again! Oh, perfectly timed against these charge-up fans, or the fans just in general. Heads Tatsu, DP for the pickup. Cross got DP. Back to where you going? Take residency. Uh-oh.
Damn. Level 1 install. Temporarily halted though, off of the fans. Yo, Tokido coming in with the OD fireballs to close in the gap against Nauman. The interruption against the DI.
Should have been everything, but the throw is still good. Hell parry, punish it coming. Tokido should be able to take this. He will drop this. Of course he won't. No cutscene necessary. 2 straight games, very dominant in terms of dealing things on defense and get his own offense started. And the reads with the DIs were excellent too as well, to kill the drive gauge, but also to stop the Stand Fierce fans from popping off way too much. Damn, Tokido, he said he liked this matchup, so he thought Ken was good at it. I think he's just good at it, to be honest, but well done, Tokido.
Pretty wild start. A huge difference in comparison to the way Nauman performed against Daigo's Akuma, right? You see like a much more in-your-face type of style from the side of Tokido rather than trying to bully away with the fireballs. They're starting to really test Nauman on what his defensive measures are, and also some of the animosity that came up from Tokido, just raw level 3 off of a read against Nauman's I want to say like tendencies to possibly meet it. Really, really well played out from Tokido in terms of like offensive game sense.
Well done for Tokido, starting off strong, 10 points for reject. Closer and closer to that point where they are going to try to leapfrog, or attempt to leapfrog Hiroshima to Itsuka. John Taguchi, as you mentioned, I'd like to see Fudo go up against him. I think in terms of playstyle, in terms of putting on pressure, they kind of match each other's speeds a little bit. You know, Fudo's been known to be one of the more active and aggressive Ed players, especially when he gets to that mid-range. Not sure you see him get active in his buttons. But I like that Taguchi has been going more for the Jamie. You see he clearly loves that character a lot more, spent a lot more time in that character, and it's really showcasing what can be done when you put a lot more grind and time into one that isn't as explored. Does Jamie need a few changes here and there? Probably. But the things that he is doing to not risk his health to get the drinks makes me think that there's more to the character that can be done. So I like what he's doing out here in the league. But it's going to be Fudo, as we both called. Like, well, more you that called that. But like that means Lashar will probably come up against the Goichi anchor position. At least I would hope.
I think I would like Lashar's Terry to go up against Goichi much more than just throwing out Ed. And with all the data they've accumulated for themselves, especially with Lashar can just kind of hand down the quick notes towards Fudo to figure out how to take down John. But god damn, son, 100 points to Fudo. The only loss he suffered was against TS. That's kind of nuts, bro. 100 on the side of Fudo, full Benjamin. That's crazy.
Not so much on the side of our friend John Takeuchi. 2 wins with the Jamie so far, but not much else to his name besides a win with Rashid. But this could be one for him. You know, I want to see what he's going to do against the Ed matchup, because I feel like on paper, whenever I watch it played, like there's so much difficulty in getting in if you don't have the dive kick. But Kai don't really save you because he has to pick us with the fireball sometimes too as well. It's hard to just kind of skate underneath that. If you try to put like raw palm on, he might check you preemptively with stand medium kick. And I feel like it's just difficult for Jamie to get going.
Funny enough, I think Jamie can force Ed to come to him, like with the threat of drinks.
Oh, really?
Okay. I think there's also the threat of like well-spaced palms to close the gap from the side of Jamie. I like Jamie having dive kicks also to close the gap pretty easily. What is happening? Oh, so he's doing Jamie's level 3. Is what it was.
Okay. Right.
With the addition of calling out Lashar's classic edge. I don't know why he said Lashar, but all right. Hey, John, listen. Do what you gotta do, brother. Do what you gotta do.
Well, all right, man. Whatever gets you in the mood, you know? Whatever gets you prepped up and ready to fight. But sorry, go up your point of the palms being the neutral as well to help out. What else? And the dive kicks?
I don't know anymore, dude. I was looking at that joke and I lost my train of thought. I genuinely have no idea what the hell I was talking about earlier, just because John's kind of like he stole the show. Yeah, brother. He's got it. I don't know. It's in the drink. That's all I got.
It's in the drink.
I don't know.
It's all in the drink. Get the drinks up. I mean, that is literally the way to play this character. Honestly, you're right. The dive kicks are definitely going to be important to catch some of these lingering limbs that are even more susceptible to getting punished. And also, driver stand fierce might be good as an initiator because Ed has slower buttons, so that might help out too as well in the neutral. John says, I can see a lot of Ed players doing well, but I know Jamie can do well as well. And he's doing some other jokes. Again, we're probably going to list all those because it's not necessary, John. You got enough limelight. You got your joke in to get your W. Fudo says, I want to win here. That's John. Who was the best Ed in the division? He said, I'm going to ask you when I'm done with you who the best Ed was. That's crazy work, Fudo.
Yeah. That is it's funny because it's like it feels kind of backhanded towards like Lashar a little bit. It's like you're asking John that question, but the other Ed player is on your bench waiting to play. Like, what do you mean, Fudo?
Why say forgive me for?
That's what I'm saying.
Fudo starting off strong. Yeah, try to stay in there as you mentioned, not trying to let him get any drinks at all. There's the Rekkas right into the swing of the sauce. Bound to happen when the confirms happen. Oh. The trades. Going out to go for the anti-air. Very smart stuff. So we're on the draw, so you want to do that.
Fudo controls is going to be too amazing. Okay! Up until that point, never mind. I cursed the hell out of him. Oh, the uppercut, regaining that momentum for himself. Rather scary stuff. John Takeuchi, yeah, blowing up the spark. Drive rush forward into the fierce to pick up afterwards. I like that. Yeah, this whole, not really much. Not much that Fudo could do over that, right? Like, even if it's blocked, John would still be in a very decent advantage because of the fact that Fudo's in burnout.
O2 coming through. They've got access to damage right now. Hands like lightning towards the corner. Empty lights. Go blitz. Could have pressed the issue with the ulti right after it, though. Had the punishment, no confirm right after. That could have been so good. He had all the bar to give. Oh, we're going for raw sweeps. You gotta cook those, son. You're dead.
Oh. We got the drink over one. John Takeuchi actually calling out the flicker. He didn't believe that Fudo had an anti-air one stored, and he was right. We got the buck high into level 2, excuse me. You get the Oki afterwards, double dash forward, spend the rest of your gauge, 4 roundhouse to start, and he was big sipping. John Takeuchi running over Fudo.
So I'm going to ask you who the best Jamie is in this division. Right after that. There's only one Jamie. But still, John Takeuchi taking it. Very dominantly, use that level 2 to get that extension. Seeing more of these Jamie players utilize that to get further extensions, plus rings right after. Put the pressure on. Oh no, you commit to the bit, get hit with the Stampedes to start things off. A lot of bar utilized right there. Psycho Bliss and now Fudo. Okay, going for the shimmy scenario. This one working out a little bit better for him. So Rush, the technical throw though. These initiators, drive rush, Stampedes, drive rush, jab. Just to stop you from going to the flicker, but you cannot drive rush raw on this cat. You gotta set it up. Fudo with the Stampedes and the level 1 to finish it off.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh.
Again.
Get the drive rush on in. Open it with the counter hit. Use of a drink. OD. The arrowhead. Trying to bait out a throw. Fudo recognizes it immediately. We see John's intention, right? Using that drive reversal to try to keep Fudo in the corner. We do get the forward throw into the drink.
Oh, here with the OD palm. Preemptively with the target combo. Forcing the jump back. Pulls him close with the flicker though. A little low on drive gauge. John trying to wait for that to come back. Fudo not letting him leave for long. Covers in time to stay fine. Ooh.
Getting a drive rush off of the dive kick. John's got 3 bars, or three drinks as well. And the attempt at the parry, back throws from the side of John Takeuchi.
Kind of cooking this matchup, I can't lie. It's been a lot of opening gambits that have been working out. Now we start for the level 2. Bar built up in the last round. Use it here, take him towards the corner. Into shimmy, set him up with the jab, whip back with the crouching medium punch. Oh, the command.
There it is.
You got something on your face. Closes it out, the perfect. Oh man, John Takeuchi says, who's the best Jamie, brother? Talk to me.
Yeah, Fudo's got nothing to say after that one. You know, I think at this point in time, Fudo might have gotten cooked with his statement. Like, I don't think he's allowed to ask that question anymore. I think he might have answered it himself. Maybe Lashar, he might be the one.
Maybe. Thanks for production for you know, the update. John has played every Ed in the division, so I mean John's pretty much, well, you know, he's understanding who the best Ed is, so he's gonna have the best pick for that, but I don't think he's gonna say Fudo no matter what. But the way that he played this matchup made it look so different than what you typically see. I like the initiators. At certain ranges, it's so hard to check and challenge drive for a Stampedes. 5-frame startup, that's a really good option. As you mentioned, Palm was out there, OD, and he built all his bar for level 2 and get in against what, you know, Fudo couldn't present. We did see some like Stampedes to stop the drive rush. That's great, but not enough to continuously stop the drive rushes, the dash ups, the confident walk ups, and the damage dealt up because my man was in level 4. It was a job well done from John Takeuchi. They needed these points. They need this next one for the anchor match to really solidify themselves, at least without Zeta's input. So against Goichi, as you mentioned, it gotta be Lashar, and I agree with you, it gotta be Terry.
What if it's Daigo Akuma?
Please don't.
What
Please
if
don't.
it's Daigo Akuma?
No.
What if?
Please don't.
Like, what if this is an episode of Marvel's What If, and Daigo just comes in with a superhero drop in on his knee, shatters his ACL on the way down as well on the other foot, like, you know.
I'm changing the channel if that happens. That's what I'm gonna do. But please don't. Just throw up Lashar. There you go. Just get it done. Get the job done.
Yeah.
All right.
No way, dude.
What?
Shut up. Shut up.
You can't do that.
I'm out. No, fire me now. Fire me now. I'm gone.
No.
I'm gone.
No. Bye. What do you mean, Daigo? You can't do that. You can't switch your order. Vicious, has this ever happened, bro? Has this ever happened? They switch an order like this and pull up a different player? Because I don't think so.
やっぱりこのフードレシャーのもう
2枚看板がね
最強の2枚看板をこうどう出すかっていうところで戦ってきたわけですけども、ついに来ましたね。
梅原さんの登場。
Oh, well.
対象戦には本リーグの初勝利をかけている。
I feel like because you said something, it happened.
そして郷一選手も
I agree. That's why I'm mad. That's why I was gonna leave. That's why I said production fire me. That's crazy, son. What is happening?
後半で割と持ち直してきたというか、
そうですね、練習
まあ内容は本当に常に良くて、本当にあと一駆け引き
On paper?
うまく実れば勝ってるみたいな試合
But Daigo going up against Goichi? When you got LaShaw sitting right, you got the golden
内容は
child.
もう折り紙付きですから。
And you pick up the stepson. What are we doing? No offense to Daigo. He hasn't been bringing the W's at all. Look at the score right now. No offense to Daigo, but we being so real, for real. I need as many points as possible to leapfrog over Hiroshima to Itsuka. I need that 20 points. I'm gonna pick LaShaw. You know what? Daigo, show me something today. Show me something, bro. Now, I'm a big Daigo fan. I'm a big GOAT fan, but he ain't been showing out in the league as he does per usual. In previous seasons, he hasn't really found himself with the Akuma all the way. I see him with the tech. I see him on his stream. I don't see it in the game all the time. And you're fighting someone like Goichi, who's so dominant in multiple games, even out here, took a little bit of a break, came back, staying fine. In that first of three, I don't know, man.
Listen, I would like to formally apologize to everybody in the chat for either cursing this match or blessing this match. Right? It's either there's gonna be like super fanboys happy about this, or people that are just looking for the well-being of rejects. Who knows? Maybe Daigo can do it. Maybe Daigo can do it. Who knows?
I think it's just a tall order. Like on paper, this is great. Like if you're an Akuma player, you love seeing Chun-Li. Even though her DP did get buffed, the aerial approach is so hard to deal with because the Demon Raid, so many different options that she can't deal with so consistently. Then you throw out fireballs, he out fireballs you continuously. His normals, not so good against yours, but the fireballs make it not matter as much. And it's been a pain point to have to fight this character for, you know, Chun-Li players from time and time again. Daigo says, you know what, thank you for letting me play in the anchor spot. Our Fudo lost. We're in big trouble. I'll save the day.
I believe it.
You know what? I'm on board. I'm on board. Let's go. Let's see it, Daigo. I'm here.
My man said, I'm here to save the day. He got his different glasses on. He already had his full bowl of Cheez-Its. He had Chipotle for dinner. All of the above. He chugged down his Red Bull. He's ready to go.
Also had the nap in there, too. You know, stuck that in there.
He got his nap. That's right.
He's ready.
He got his nap. That's true. Yeah, this is the type of archetype we like to see from Daigo, right? He's already trying to space out and really be active with the fireballs, but the dive kick a little bit too overzealous with the range. Goichi able to easily whiff punish the misplaced dive kick. Oos!
Sancho cut through. So many different anti-fireball options. Yes, we have to have the variance in the approach. You got to throw some buttons in there every so often. Walking towards the corner. That dive kick able to hit the throw right after it. Not going to happen, though. No anti from Daigo, but the drive gauge is getting depleted. Now it's gone. Goichi and burnout for the corner. Only level 1 to his name. The shimmy is there with the stand spears off the backboard. Have to get Tatsu to maximize the damage. Oh, yeah, the medium did convert to the combo, though. Raw DI, you have the level 1. But that's the win. You can send that bar.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, no.
That's really fine. Nice and easy. You know what's crazy? Like, that DI is not too, like... It wasn't too crazy. I think getting rid of Goichi's resources while he had that much life left to him was pretty damn good. And now the dive kick, punishing the fireball coming in against Goichi. Yo, Daigo is making all the right calls. Hold up. Is this Shin Daigo? Shin Umehara-san?
It's focused. Tick throw. Up in the corner, one more touch. The shimmy, using that back and forth walk speed to get in and out. Close up to smell the breath. Daigo first game. Yo, I didn't know your game was like that, Daigo. You've been working out, I guess. You've been off the sauce a little bit too as well. We see the results. First game, though, we see Goichi a little bit lost so far. I do like the fact that Daigo is, however, killing the drive gauge. Like, the fireballs aren't just like, I'm throwing fireballs for damage. It's like, I can also harass and pull you towards the corner, and then also kill your drive gauge if you're not perfect pairing all the time, and gain some space to get in for like a stand fierce fireball or a button into like some drive gauge killing. So I like the idea of him killing the resources. And the aerial approaches we mentioned, you can't DP or anti everything. It's even worse for a character like Chun-Li compared to like a Can or something like that to anti-air.
早めに切りましたね。まあイメージとしてはここで DFM と1台は切っておくことで、この後戦い長引けばリジェクト取ってくれるでしょっていうのもあるかもしれません。
Like, I'm genuinely surprised to see some of the strongest starts I've seen from Daigo. And I'm not even like being sarcastic or anything, like no undertones, but everything that Daigo called out in that round was pretty perfect.
I like this form of Daigo. There's a lot more activity beyond just the fireballs. He knows that he loves to use those too much, and so he's switching it up in terms of walking forward, not just standing in one spot. We saw the Hazanshu cut through a few times, or at least one time, and some anti-fireball play, but overall, he's been walking forward, using other buttons. That's the thing that he even said himself. When Akuma dropped, he wasn't using, he had to acclimate. He's a slow starter. That's the thing that he said so many times. Read his book or listen to any time that he talks about how he approaches games. It takes him a while to get going, even with new characters. And you see it right now. He's gotten better about using what Akuma should use. There was a time this man did not leave the ground at all. He didn't even know Demon Flip was a thing, it felt like, compared to Shuto, who would be off the ground so continuously. Now you see that as an actual option in his toolkit. This is a way better Daigo than I've seen played the past couple of months.
I would possibly agree to that. I think like despite where he was at in the beginning with his Akuma, although we didn't see the results, I think it's mostly because the sample size was too small, right? Like he didn't really put himself up in comparison to the other players in the league. It's like if their #1 objective is to get into the playoffs first, then you would go with the ones that have had more of the experience on an international level. This season in particular, Daigo has not had that opportunity to really travel as often because of his other obligations, right? He's obviously much more in tune with streaming, much more in tune with his content creation game, much more in tune with just developing himself as a at least competitive player within his right of playing in Tokyo, playing in Japan, I should say specifically. So, of course, I would put Tokido, Fudo, and Lashar because they are traveling around the world playing against other players internationally. But in this case, I think putting in Daigo instead of Lashar worked out pretty damn well.
Let's get the anti right there that time, the fireball to lock him down. We'll see if we see some perfect parries from Daigo with that drive rush punish right after. Goichi has some of those and now interrupts. Over kick for the Oki. Walk up throw on the wake up. I like that. The 4 pierce for the +1. Daigo harassing as he tries to leave. And again, taking that space, not just standing in one spot. Even with like the 4 pierce and other buttons. Demon Flip with the anti are still there. There's the punish. Beautifully done. The DI against Hazanshu. Chipping him out. Yeah. Woo. And using the fireballs as a bait against a Hazanshu to call it out. I like the structuring. It's not just fireballs for damage or spacing. It's to also encourage you to do something right to punish you. Uh-oh. Too many fireballs. Jumped in on.
Damn, son! Pass the fireball again! And that's more preemptive, it feels like, against Goichi. He'll use like the, I think it's like the light kick demon raid, and then he'll use like a roundhouse dive kick to cover his bases if he does react to, if the fireball does come out, right? He could just react to it.
You said you had the spacing for that. The next level, just in general. Fireball hits him. Dive kick delayed this time. Trey not going to go any further than that. The overhead hitting him from above. Blessing him. Sending him right down to hell. Should be able to kill level 1. Job well done, Goichi. Catching him off guard with the overhead. But Daigo wasn't that far off from killing. One more interaction would have been it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a high-low mix-up in and of itself. Drive rushing that close either a crouch short can be plus enough to link, even low medium kick, but it's the overhead that comes out. Also, still just as potent even with overhead in drive rush. So I'm just saying, man. That's a high-low mix-up right there.
Go to the ground. Hey, you don't want to get back though, definitely understandable. Giving him space to play. Room to run his fireballs, run rampant. Maybe like light fireball, drive rush, demon flip. He's getting so much ground just by walking him down. Give me the idea of demon flip right there, the light one. Gets a low though, that's all according to Goichi's plan. Okay, after this, the DP, the bust out. That's his life on it, works out.
Oh, great block on the overhead from the side of Daigo. Oh, no way! The demon comes out and he just gets clipped! It doesn't kill. However, Goichi is looking real bad with no drive gates to him. He has a level 1. Daigo could chip out. Fireball. Can he bring it out? Ooh, there's nothing he can do about that! There's nothing he can do about that! That was a snipe out. The OD fireball, Goichi couldn't react with the level 1 because it would have blown it up. That's sick. Daigo, you madman. What a beast. Shin Umehara-san.
He different. Here to talking mess. I'm sorry, Daigo. I'll never doubt you might go follow up right after though. Like, again, his bar chipping scenarios overall, even like at the round starts, have been really great in terms of taking away the resources that Goichi has. Goichi, now, pedal to the metal. Lands a throw, not real, but it's working out because you're worried about the other buttons. Backs away with the fireball. Perfect parry to stay on the ground. Guillotine comes to the neck. No back throw here, just a target combo into the -4 fireball. Daigo go for an OD now. Content with these other buttons. Ooh. Team defeated. There's the DP again. Okay, Goichi more active on defense here. A lot more OD DPs overall. Word.
Damn.
Probably calling against the fireball regardless, but you know, not too bad right there. Shooting that DI towards the corner. For a counter hit off the poke. Go on drop gauge, now Daigo pressing the issue. But that's exactly what Goichi wants. You advance, I'll stop that from happening with the swift thrust. And the fireballs. And
yeah, you can't do it within that space.
What are we doing?
Goichi buffered it. He buffered it the first time, and that should have been like the warning shot towards Daigo. That should have been like, hey man, I got my hand on the holster. Don't even think about it. Don't even try to think about it.
This man don't come out here lacking. You got the bar at the bottom, you saw the ammo, you saw the blicky. What are we doing? Daigo, unfortunately, 2 lost in the sauce with the fireballs, but that's been a big initiator for him. So he's gonna have to pull back just a little bit, as easy as that sounds to say. But I do like the Goichi is like tantalizing him to do things like not just the fireballs, but also like walk forward and drive rush up, where he's ready to check and challenge with like a jab, swift thrust, and gain a lot of damage. And then also in between all this, the fireballs are thrown out too as well, and Daigo keeps running into them. It's not like a lot of big conversions all the time. It's things that add up, and on Akuma, it adds up a little bit more than other characters. But overall, I like that he is tantalizing the idea of Daigo whiffing something to punish or being able to stop him from initiating the way he wants to.
Somebody said Goichi. That's pretty good. You know, I might need to steal Goichi the next time I see him. Nice call, Kevin. That's a real good one. It's Daigo versus Goichi. That's kind of sauced up. Not gonna lie.
So what do you think Daigo has to do differently now that he's being goaded into the range, the effective domain expansion that Goichi's putting out?
Not too sure. I mean, like, it really depends on like how Goichi kind of approaches, like, I guess the ground game, right? It really is dependent on like whether or not Daigo is going to be harassing with fireballs as he did at the gate for game 1. But even so, if like Goichi tries to pursue like maybe like a Zanshu or even like fireballs through it, Daigo's had the answer to it. So it's kind of difficult. off of one game on the sample size, it's really rather difficult to call like what Goichi needs to do to force Daigo to chill on the fireballs outside of having meter, right?
Yeah. As long as you hasn't been working out that much, but you know, I have the rotation options. Maybe the stance slide that's like 7 frames could work out against fireballs, but again, the variance is too hard, so maybe not that. But overall, I think like in terms of like Goichi, I like what he's doing right now in terms of I'm in the space, you can't enter, I will check you for that, I'll gain the damage. For Daigo, like you said, it's depending on what Goichi is doing. He has to work with what Goichi is performing with. He has to dance with his beat. But I do like this overall, even though Daigo did lose that. I like the activity we see from Daigo. Even on defense, ODDP spin out a lot less. Obviously, again, the aerial approach, the fireballs are varied up, at least enough compared to what they were before, where it felt like he was just kind of throwing out light and heavy, and that was it, and back and forth. But this seems like a better Daigo. This is the Daigo I want to see. Can this Daigo close it out against Goichi, though? We're going to see what information was given to help him get back in the hot seat.
Round 1. Fight.
Pretty active already, like Goichi kind of engaging with that drive rush forward. I kind of like that, just to keep Daigo on his toes. You can see where the spaces are, like what parts of the screen away from like Chun-Li, where Daigo kind of reluctantly throws out fireballs or not. Right here.
Yeah, long range not too bad. You like these perfect parries from Goichi trying to keep the bar up. Now Daigo gets aggressive, gets active, finds a confirm. For stand medium plus. Oh, he tried to go to the throw right after. Gonna make it to the wall. Gonna get Tatsu. Frank for the throw right after.
OD and show kicks coming in from Goichi. Setting the pace. Yes, I like that! Eliminating the OD fireball just before it's launched. Oh, is it within the range? It sure is. If you're by that pillar, you're hella dead. Level 1. Goichi coming right back with the aggression. And that was all from that OD Tensho.
Most defensive minds in the business. Working out and also being able to route it back right after that. Full reward. Stay at the upset point. They're trying to walk him down. Now drive rushing in. Wants out the low right after though. Luigi was going for no cross-cut DP. Find to block it out. Guillotine for the bait. And the light one. A lot of visual variance. Reversal button on the drive rush stand Pierce. Goichi challenging.
Oos. That's pretty cool to see him like use the sweep ender too from the Demon Raid just to throw off Goichi every so often. That also being plus is kind of not plus, sorry, but also being a threat rather in the high-low game is actually kind of surprising. The jump in for the punish against the fireball.
Yeah, his turn was over. He finds it open. I like that stuff. The side switch, try reverse to the back up. No throw here. Ban for the fireballs. Lands the stand Pierce. All he needs is one solid hit right now and a follow-up button. Daigo looking for the aerial approach with the dive kick. That sand kick buffer could also be dangerous. Raw sweep off the feet. The shimmy, that's the feet. That's that point. Daigo with a full stick of butter at the bottom. I'm about to tell you the recipe about to call for level 3 if he lands it. The anti-air is there though. Tensho. Oh, haven't seen this in a while. Air legs calling the throw.
A safe jump on the way in. Also a high-low mix. Forward throw. Goichi establishing the pressure with the throws. Also a mix.
Strike though, most dangerous mix, man.
Oh!
Anti-air's there.
Covering the air approach. Excellent use of the drive gauge. Kind of difficult. Staving off the burnout pressure. Yo, the standing light kick as a preventative measure from Goichi from going in, cashing out into the critical art. Can you force the burnout scenario against Goichi? Overhead, that's a mix. Forward throw, even more.
Drivers for the plus frames. Mix time. Oh, tick throw. In there. Guillotine. Delays. Takes the trade. Not too bad though. For Daigo. What was that?
No!
He gave it away, and Daigo gonna take the W over an input error. I don't know what that was, but I do know that Daigo just took this 3-1, losing me a life in wrong. Done did it.
Oh man, Marvel's what if? That's crazy, dude. Marvel's what if? Daigo Umehara as the anchor. Oh, brother. It was an overlap input, and also it was an overlap and stored input from the side of Goichi.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh no. Daigo Umehara coming in as the last Avenger to get the 30-point ball game for Team Reject.
Roll the credits. Roll the credits.
I jinxed it. No post credits here, dude. I definitely jinxed it. That was, hey chat, that was my bad. That was definitely, hey listen, guys, I am so sorry. Listen, one, I shouldn't have willed this into existence. Number two, I should have never doubted our GOAT.
That's our GOAT, bro. That's the GOAT.
Crazy.
That's the GOAT. But we gotta give big credit to the fact that he played so well. He's so different than what he usually plays like. Usually he's like, bro, he's dive kicking, he's using the demon flip. When does he ever do that? He does it. People have begged him for months upon months, bro. Take to the skies, and characters got it like that. And walk forward and fireball. Don't just sit there. And then things like this, the demon, he's got the tech, but when it finally connects, he finally does the damage. And unfortunately, there was an input error. But I'm gonna be so real. I don't think Goichi would have won this anyway. There was so much dominance from the side of Daigo that, bro, this is a different beast. This is a beast we expected to see throughout the league, but comes in the clutch. 30-10, rejecting Detonation, FocusMe, and giving them no more points beyond that 10 right there. Tokido starting off strong. Fudo fall to the wayside, unfortunately, but damn, Daigo with the what if. All the stones assembled for that one. Perfectly done. God dang. What a power.
He was saying all this time on the bench has led you to me. My man said I was playing the long game. I was taking the fattest nap on the planet. Don't you know I thrive the best after hibernation? You are fools. You are all fools. Bow down to Uncle Demon.
I will say, though, to the credit of Daigo and the rest of the team, something that they've been saying on their streams is like they don't want to keep relying upon Lashar. Lashar has been a standout star of their team. It's not like Reject hasn't been winning with other teammates, but they don't want to be like, oh, let's just always set up Lashar to win. Put all that weight on him. But Lashar says the team was the GOAT. All right, man.
Sure.
I guess.
Sure.
I'm gonna talk to you later, Lashar. We'll still talking to you. You know,
we're not allowed to contest that. We're genuinely not allowed to contest that. Daigo came in and got his W. That's perfect. That's perfect. Them putting their trust in Daigo, absolutely perfect. Now it's up to ZETA Division to put the nail on the coffin for Detonation FocusMe. Right? ZETA needs like a good amount of points to like fully qualify. But looking at it right now, let me reiterate the standings for you guys once more. Detonation FocusMe was going into this at 150 points. They needed 30 to tie with ZETA Division, currently sitting at 180 points. If they manage to score 200 points for themselves, or actually like to really secure it, I want to say 210. So that would be if they win this match, if ZETA Division wins this match, they secure their spot for playoffs. Period. Because Fukushima IBUSHIGIN is also in contention, right? They have 100 points. If they score a 40 bomb against ZETA Division, that still opens up the floodgates ever so slightly for both IBUSHIGIN and Detonation FocusMe. So right now, it depends on like a big miracle. If Fukushima gets this 40 bomber in the third match, we got ourselves a real race.
Set out the power for the spirit bomb. Because IBUSHIGIN is going to definitely need that, because that's going to be a very dicey one. ZETA getting well more informed. Back to the interviews, though. Lashar said, didn't play today, but I'm happy the team won. Tito said, personally, my game was perfect. I'm confident in today's win. Fudo said, unfortunately, I lost, but it was an ideal win for the team, so I can sleep well today. Are you? I feel like John Takuchi is going to be hitting you up and being like, hey, man, who's the best Jamie? Just let me know right now. Who's the best Jamie? Let me know.
I would. I would easily be like, hey, remember that question you asked me? I would go like the Noah the Prodigy route. I would DM him on Twitter in the middle of the night and be like, hey, remember when you asked me? And then, dude, Noah be doing that to me on my DMs right now. He'd be like, hey, do you remember when I did this over in this tournament? I'm like, yes, Noah. I'm going to sleep. It's 3 a.m.
Go to bed. Why are you up?
I'm like, good night,
Oh
nephew.
man, Daigo. Good night.
Literally every time.
Every time? Oh my God. Noah, if you're watching this, man, hey man, calm down. Keep it down over there. Daigo, he said I was doing a good game in my sense, but I couldn't get the win. Really got confidence today. So he couldn't get wins previously, I think is what he's saying. But today he had the confidence to get that W. And it's good that they relied upon him, because when it comes to like the playoffs and the finals, you're going to need everybody. So Daigo needs to be at that ready. Takedo says, next up is the last episode. We will show everyone how strong we are. There you go.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. They've got a pretty good matchup against, I believe, it'll be Fukushima IBUSHIGIN, right? It'll be the #1 seed going up against the #6. So, again, there is a possibility if Fukushima IBUSHIGIN manages to score 40 here and then 40 tomorrow, if that happens, I don't know what else to. I don't know what else I could like kind of like bet on the line. I can't really like wager anything for this. Like, I'll grow out my hair for a year. I don't know, dude. Like, that's not gonna happen. But it is rather difficult. Like, it is quite the ask. I don't know.
40 Bombers are not impossible, definitely a hard ask when you're fighting like the top tier teams out here. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. But right now we have one final match: Fukushima IBUSHIGIN going up against ZETA Division Geekly to really solidify quite a bit of things that could be happening. We might be able to just have people in the playoffs from there, depending on what happens with ZETA, some other things in the wayside. But either way, it's going to be a very desperate match. If you're desperate to wake up, hit this Red Bull. I wonder if they have it. I haven't seen it. I've been searching around the shops around here. It might be Japan only. For the bottle version, they have this new edition. So it is. Oh, I need to look harder then, because I need this.
No, I mean like it's specifically. I think it's specifically for Japan. Is what I meant.
Oh, okay. I'm not going crazy. Yeah. Okay, good.
No. I think it's Japan exclusive for now. I mean, there are certain markets outside of the US that test out like different Red Bull flavors, different variations of Red Bull as well, and then they end up bringing it out to the US like based off of their test cases. It's a whole thing. It's really cool, but it's like a little bit more than like the normal can. So I am kind of curious to see if I could find one, hopefully beforehand, maybe outside of the States, maybe outside of Japan, but outside of the States as well. So either way, we got ourselves a lot to really talk about in regards to like what's going on through like the playoffs, right? We are in like the last couple of episodes. We have we got one more after this, and then we got another one for Division S, right? So a lot to really look forward in regards to like the realm of the fate of a lot of these teams.
Yeah. You support them right now. You get these banners. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reject banners. I'm going to CFN later today and throughout the week, supporting that squad, supporting that team. You can also support, put up title holdings and things like that if you want to remain a little bit on the neutral side, but I might have to throw my reject banner up. They are out right now. So grab those banners and support your favorite squad, your favorite team. Hopefully the US and EU ones get them as well. We'll see if they do that. I'm not sure if they do. I don't know if there's been any word on that, but I'd love to see some for the US team. That'd be sick.
I think there is something in the works for the US team and also the EU team, if there's anything like last year. But this is cool just to have. I really enjoy these banners. These banners are super sick. I would love to rock my favorite team's banners as we get through a lot of the season. But more importantly, again, all of it leads to one big dance. Capcom Cup 12 is coming sooner than you know it. Same with the grand finals of Street Fighter League Japan, as well as the Street Fighter League World Championships, right? You guys need to reserve your tickets for the grand finals happening January 31st for Street Fighter League Japan. And then for Capcom Cup 12, that's going to be happening real soon. I still can't believe it, man.
It's kind of crazy, but we still have to get there. Playoffs are upcoming. We got to get there first. Fukushima IBUSHIGIN, ZETA Division Geekly is our last match after this break. We'll see you soon.
gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
大カプコン展ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン、ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
長かった。
みんなしゃがみ中キックをどうカバーできる
よ
か。回り坂に。
はいはい、でかいよ。
でかいダメージ。この一発のパ
はい
ワー。
はい。もう半分いったよ。
強気に。とはいえ
カウンター。
なるほど。
リーチまで持ってきているかアキラ。リフトアッパーから抜けない。
おお、はいはい、すげえ。
ちょっとゲージが怖いですね。
パランク縮め。
重ねて。
ジャストパリからの読み合い。
うわマジ。
ミドラン2。
いやこれはでも
いないいない。
俺はプレイで見てます。俺はもう予習済み。
で
でも絶対みんなこれコストだけだと思ってんだろうな。楽しい。
様子見。
うわ
オーディのエンボルト
今ジャンプに見えたからだ。
確かにディマが出てしまった。対空を狙ったという。
あ、見せてる。
これはゲージが溜まってる。動画燃え盛る。
ナイス。
一緒。
あ、でめっちゃ緊張してるだろ。
緊張しますよ。やばいっすよ。
9名はそのまま
下がるんだ。すごい。自信の表れだこれ。
しかも OD ファイヤー打つとね嫌なイメージが2回。
自信があるこれは。
豊亀るそううますぎるこいつ。
やばい。前節の俺対フードさんみたいになってる。
全くない。読んでるぞ。
見てんのか。
これはまあ
そして
上から
リバで
大丈夫、時間使おう。ここで打つと。
ただ
マジ
うますぎる。
なんでこいつこれでちょっと自信なさげだったの。
ドライブゲージはかなり少ない状況。体力もない取り飯。
おお。
あ
あ、マジで緊張しましたよ。
いや、そうだね。よかったよかったよかった。
マジで。
It comes down to this. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, ZETA Division Geekly, a marquee match that matters for so many teams, and they themselves begins right now. Let's start off. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN on the away side. The Ascendant standing at the top of the footman. It is Tsubasa coming through with the jury. Maybe a few other characters here or there, but most of the jury. That's what we like to see. We also like to see the Fire Master himself, the Yoga Master himself, Tormeshi, fully from the heavens coming down to put hands on the man. Bare hands on the man, in fact. Love seeing this catch move around the screen. Also love seeing explosive fists explore the screen with the Mamimosa Marisa and Manon. Both characters at the ready, hopefully ready for today's bout, and the unyielding spirit never backing down. It is Yanai on the Bison, powered up by that psycho power. Needs every bit of power he can get right now, because this team is at the bottom rung. Needs to get the 40 bombers to get the job done to get to the playoffs. But again, a lot of things are in contention all across the board. Throw up the signs. Oh, this? Okay, all right. You know, it's the thing, all right. Tsubasa.
I don't know what that is. I don't want to even try to like imitate it. Hell no. That's too close for something. ZETA Division stepping up to the plate in what was a little bit of a rocky start in their first half. They've recuperated quite nicely, currently in third place. Let's get a closer look at who the players are composing this team. In third place with 180 points. Let's get into it. ZETA Division Geekly, starting things off with the unshakable integrity. Stepping in for Kakeru, it is Yamaguchi. Followed shortly right after, it is the Chosen Run, Hikaru, with a ton of different characters at his disposal. I wonder if it's going to be the Aki coming up to play this time. And of course, one of our favorite players to watch, it's the Prodigy, with the McDouble Sonic Booms coming through. It's Higuchi with that Guile. Of course, the Silent Ninja Blade, the leader, formerly known as Team Shinobiism Gaming. It's going to be Momochi. You know, I'm actually quite impressed with the current roster that they have and them coming back from all of the speed bumps they went through initially. It was rather difficult and understandable, to be fair. Obviously, we have you know, we have to talk about Kakeru to a certain degree. Like, I hope he's doing well. I hope he's also thoroughly nominated and voted for at the esports awards coming up real soon in Las Vegas. It's either him or MenRD, but the fact that we have 2 Street Fighter 6 contenders brings a smile to my face for sure. But this is the away squad: Tsubasa, Torimeshi, and Yanai.
Man, every time I watch this team, they're so good on the home side in terms of like being able to counterpick like weird funky matchups. But on the away side, it just feels like they get counterpicked in the reverse, like just as bad. Tsubasa coming up the jury, Torimeshi having to come up, and then Yanai obviously in a position as should be, because I feel like he's been so clutch for the team overall and getting as many points as possible. And Johnny sitting in the background. In terms of who they're fighting, though, the matchups I expect are Higuchi, Hikaru, Blanca possibly, and Momochi. That's what I think is coming through. And then Yamaguchi as the extra position, as he is solidified for that. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind Higuchi going up first. But it's Momochi and against the jury. That's off the table. I'd imagine. So against the Bison pick, I know a lot of the Aki players don't really enjoy that. At least if I'm not mistaken. Even outside of just like listening to Broski and talk about the matchup, I'm not too sure. Actually, now that I think about it, I wouldn't mind Aki facing off against Dalsum, right? I think the bubbles proved to be a pretty big hindrance, a slow-moving bubble against like Dalsum's limbs, and also having to float. With how long it takes for the bubble to get there, I think drivers going forward and reacting towards like what happens with like Dalsum's options for mobility. I think that's totally fine. I can see a realm where it's Momochi, Hikaru, and then Higuchi towards the end.
Ooh, even though the matchup is kind of difficult for Guile, I feel, against Bison, I think he's well adjusted to fight the matchup and understand what to do. And I saw United practicing against Guile, so maybe they think that's the case too as well. I can see that. Momochi coming up though, not a bad pick. I think either Higuchi or Momochi would have been fine here. Momochi coming up to be a little bit more maybe No, I think Ed and Gao both kind of beat down Jury equally bad. But regardless, Momochi coming up to start things off also is good in terms of having the team captain to start the snowball. See the scores on the side, 180 so far to their name. They need a lot more. And FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN at 100. We mentioned that they need 40 bombers all the way through. So I like the pickups no matter what for ZETA. And I like Momochi starting off again because he is the team captain. He'll get the ball rolling. And I feel like with Ed counter-poking, this character is fantastic. She can't throw out fireballs and dash right after. The fireball access is not even that big of a deal because you have flicker, you have these long-ass normals. And then also, I guess the only pain point you're really thinking about when it comes to Jury is like the aerial approach. Her dive kick, her foot dive, those are annoying for Ed, but I think the grounded game is so strong for Ed. Those aren't supposed to happen that often. They shouldn't happen. You're playing your stuff tight. That's also why I think Ochi also comes up to dominate this first of two.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Tsubasa and Jury are such like grounded-based monsters that this choice from Momochi coming up it just makes a lot of sense. Like Ed just controls that ground just as well, or at least stuffs out a lot of aggressive approaches so well that it's hard to justify any other character in comparison. Like I wouldn't want to try to like use Aki for that measure. I wouldn't try to use anybody else for that measure. Like I think Dial could possibly do the same, but I still think Jury's fireball against like someone like Guile could be kind of like a hindrance to prevent Guile from even trying to like pursue after fireball. Also, dive kick also works pretty well. Same applies against Aki with the dive kick. So yeah, I mean like I think Ed's got a little bit more in the tank in regards to like hindering the ground approach.
Yeah, I'm with you with that. I guess there's some ways that we've seen like Nephew fight the Guile matchup where it's a lot more tolerable. Having the right timing for like the dive kick against the stand, medium kick and the crouch fierce, some of the anti approaches, and it's mentioned the fireball to lock him down. So maybe that fireball won't interact with his fireball, but prevent him from playing a button like a back fist or like a driver stand light kick to initiate, whatever it may be. Tsubasa said though, I was slightly expecting Momochi. It doesn't matter who comes, we gotta win all of them. Mochi says ZETA was the one chasing the higher teams. We finally have the chance to get the ticket in our own power. We'll do our best to get it.
It's true. They were definitely in the lower half for a while, actually. Just looking at their overall spread, like if I were to really break it down, like looking at it, ZETA was like, they lost a reject. They got a W against VARREL. They got 40 bombed by DetonatioN FocusMe in the first interaction, by the way. That was actually kind of insane. But I could go on. Either way, they did happen to take 30 points against FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. This is the run back, though. We'll find out if the Jury is going to size up against the Ed. Momochi already clearing the anti-air. Forward throw, creating that space for himself, dashing up, drivers forward into the Koga. Perfect parry from Tsubasa, not claiming the side switch, instead going for the damage and also building up that meter.
That's stock, very imperative. Fireball also, as well as, we use the Woody extension there. The DP, but for the extension serves with the combos. Just like this, take him towards the corner with the DP ender. Cross cut DP, can't leave for free, nice little OS. No back throw at all. And that stand just getting absolutely blessed.
Put back down, Momochi. Drive up on in there. Gets the throw. And secures the first round. Pretty damn well, actually.
Initiation. Interrupts the drive rush. The level 2 expended right there, maybe 2 scale. Gets a back throw. Hit the brakes. Oh, he played the button and he got played for it. Raw level 3. You see a lot of people spinning this in like a second round scenario to get a lead and build the bar back up in the third round if they get there. See what can happen. Mochi trying to build that bar back up.
Bring him back in. I like that. I think with the amount of life Tsubasa had, it encouraged them even more to lean towards that decision of doing OD uppercut for the kill. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Won't die for it completely. In between the string, ODDP once again letting it rip. He did not get punched with that overhead. Hard to come down with something if you're Ed. On the ground, you're fine. Psycho Blitz level 3 wants to lead and get the bar back. I do agree. Mochi have more DRCs in his pocket after this. Punish. Something slight.
Damn. Jumping out of the way. Momochi, plenty of life to play with, by the way. Tsubasa looking almost pretty dry. I like the conversion off of the medium punch, by the way. I love the fact that he's not like forcing himself into like big drive rush cancels also that'll put him into burnout. Really cognizant of his meter. Ooh!
Level 2 coming through. Get that bar built up. Go for damage or reset. Dive kick. Try to find opening up the lights. Almost out of bar. Almost back in 3 cases. Could have been the kill. The throw will do it though. Momochi on the verge of getting a first game. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, but not too bad from Tsubasa though. I like the defensive ODD piece in between some of these strings here, route things back. The perfect parries after the second button is played. Knows the timing. He isn't that far off from taking down Momochi though. Closer than you might look like. Especially considering how Tsubasa wasn't informed at the beginning of everything.
The low.
With the sock.
Catches the double blow, the OD getting blown up sky high from Tsubasa. And he had so much feng shui behind him. So much fuha behind him, excuse me. Damn!
You burnt yourself out though. A lot of room to work with. And the flicker as well. Almost back with bar, but before that can even happen, the driver's crouching kick catches the spark. I like that. Great awareness and stopping before the bar even becomes an issue. Tsubasa staying with that set point. Again, in between the string.
On the way down, catching the recovery of the button. Level 2. A different route. Has to be because he was so close to the corner.
It's the wrong button. I guess they were ducking, I'm not sure. Okay, we get to catch a throw, but right after we get the stock up, Tsubasa with some resources to work with. Find a whip punish against some of these buttons, like with a crouching medium kick or crouching medium punch. It says Momochi converting. Oki, kill rise, blocking it out in terms like the lows.
Damn, you just walk up counter hit as well?
Damn.
Ooh, I love that. Yo, Momochi has just been striking at the right time against Tsubasa. His timing against him has been so big in regards to getting these openings, whether it's a throw, whether it's a jab. Okay. Dumping out the three early.
Yeah. With that lead, yourself back in the green after doing a few cancels. Not too bad. Reversal jab from the wake up. This is the second time this has happened. Up in the corner. This time the level 2. But she's very active on defense. And towards the West Coast.
Ooh, Cobra.
Fears.
Too far. Huh. I gotta double check what that is, like, in terms of like what he could have done from that distance. He went in for the throw immediately afterwards. But what was that? Like that was punish counter. So even on a hit, it's +1. So that makes it +5. I wonder if he could have been like close enough to maybe get a crouching foot kick.
The usual route, right? I feel like that range has gotta be enough, but maybe not. Momochi didn't want to risk it, but then ended up dying either way. That's in for the corner though. Final game between both players. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN needs these 40 bombers. Every player has to play picture perfect. The interruption gets the drive rush with the crouching light kick. Successful. Drive rush throw to ensure the real throw loop pressure. It breaks that time, waits. Back throw, switch it up. Tsubasa with the driver stock up. So many different looks, but almost out of drive cage and health. Come on now.
Ooh. Tsubasa still has a chance. No big conversion to kill it. Momochi's got a lot of control, got a lot of health in comparison. No way. To throw again! Tsubasa's been thrown around a bunch. Match point now for Momochi.
Or at the bottom too as well. See what Tsubasa uses. And going to like level 2, possibly trying to go for the overhead. That's the eruption. Oh, she's been so good about stuffing every approach. It feels like overhead, the low. Now to level 3. Huge lead, bar back at his side of things. Meet him up. Yeah, make him waste that. Gets the kill rush right after. Oh, it was a counter. It wasn't punish killer though. +1. Careful of the drive gauge. Saw him stagger just a little bit. Maybe they'll call it a throw, or I'm sorry, a level 3 or super.
One more hit from Momochi while he has drive gauge, at least one cancel for him. Okay, maybe like a hit and a half, excuse me, an opener and a half. Not anymore though, as he has access to 4 bars of drive gauge. And Tsubasa's burnt out. This is tough. It might just be Momochi. He's fully stocked up. He gets the drive, impact sneaks it in. Tsubasa getting smoked in the corner with a perfect Momochi hook, line, and sinker.
What a long perfect, but reels in a big win right there to start things off. ZETA with a strong start, but I think this is real bad for Fukushima. I know this is real bad because they needed 40 bombers all the way through to even be considered for playoffs, and that may end their journey. But either way, back to the match though, man, the control that Momochi had, despite how fast and annoying her drive rush buttons can be, and her options can be, and Tsubasa's different looks, were so immaculate. Crouching light kick was a star, so as well as other buttons, and then the wake-up decisions from Momochi up in the corner, waking up with jabs and things like that continuously, going into the OD level 2 as we saw, OD Blitz into level 2, excuse me. But all those things like that felt like it was like stopping Tsubasa from getting going to continuously. Then we saw things like walk-up throw. Like he had all the dominance in the neutral to get a walk-up throw on somebody, even if you have the lead in health. Shows me that Momochi was in his head the entire time, at least towards the end. But man, the dominance, as we mentioned, with the normals is problematic. It is for Jury to have to deal with. Mochi definitely took advantage of that. And the DI, brother, what a way to go.
I still feel like he could have been just slightly within range in that crouching light kick off of the Cobra Strike. I'm just saying. I definitely want to check that out eventually.
Yeah, I think that would have worked. But still, ZETA Division Geekly. So, who did we set up against Tormeshi? I think we said Hikaru, Aki. Even Blanca could work out, but Aki could also work out too. Yeah. Either one.
Ah, so we're half and half, right? You called the Blanca, and I definitely called the Hikaru. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you want to talk about it, Blanca, in regards to the Dawson match, what were your thoughts around it?
I mean, anti-aerial approach is like really good. Heavy kick's really good. Back medium kick's really good. Up ball's really good. I feel like in terms of like the mix it can present on a character that doesn't have good defense is really great. If you're a sim player, you are sweating in the corner. And when I feel like I watch these players play in terms of like interactions, like in terms of like sim interacting with like Blanca's gonna get the better off in terms of like swinging out like a crouch fierce, then a punish counter, and then doing like empty ball and to get close or whatever. I feel like those moments happen a lot more for Blanca. So there's a reason why he's picking this character. It's probably one of the characters that he had picked up for to deal with Aki's matchups. Aki's sim probably isn't that bad, but you probably want something that's even better, you know, to cover other bases too as well, even better. So there's gotta be a reason why he's playing this. I assume it's for that. But that's what I usually see. What do you think on the matchup?
I think there's so many like various ways for Blanca to get in pretty consistently, and also like I love the pressure that Blanca can lay on, especially off of back medium kick. I think Dawson suffers a ton when it comes to like meaty pressure. It really depends on like what the defensive end from that player kind of looks like, and also like anytime I see a Dawson kind of go for a float, I love seeing Blanca players, even like mid to high level, react with like a rainbow ball to kind of like chase him down and force Blanca backwards. I've seen that in like random CFN matches too. I'm like, huh, I never really thought about rainbow ball as often. Like I don't like trying to do like regular Blanca ball. It is fast and it does cover a wide range. Anytime you see like a Blanca float, if the Dawson player is like aware of it, I mean sometimes I think it'll whiff if you just do like the grounded version of the float, like going from that high up, if I remember correctly. But I also wouldn't mind seeing like the Dawson player kind of like use that fierce to hit it on the way down. So I am kind of curious to see like what the approach is going to be. I don't think Hikaru is going to be of that nature to kind of like use Blanca balls to go in as often. So We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like the way I feel like when I watch him play, he's not really like a Blanca ball type player, but maybe he will be today. Tormeshi says Dawson is really bad at the Cammy and Blanca matchup, but the first game was a really good game, so I'll do my best to do a good game as well. So he also says similar that Blanca is very difficult for Sim to be able to fight. The aerial approach is going to be hard. Like you mentioned, the buttons are there, the Blanca balls are there, the pressure that's presented in level 2, up at the corner in general. And I think the rebuttal buttons that come from Sim in terms of like getting like a punish off of something that's maybe more minus, like a air ball or something like that, isn't going to be as significant compared to other characters because like the lights don't lead to as much from Sim. Hikaru says, I've done my practice, so I want to show what I have at the ready, and we're going to go for 40 points today, so I got to win here. The block is a way to do it. So we'll see.
I agree with that. So there is a potential for Zeta Division to score. Damn, son, just Blanca ball off the rip. And he got little fella. Oh, we can't forget. Torimeshi having access to Fireball, a big deterrent against Blanca. How could we actually forget about that? My mistake.
Oh, you're right.
He's just going to shake it. He's going to shake the moneymaker for a couple of dollar bills in India. What was that? He held that parry mad long.
Hey, man, times are tough. Hikaru, the heavy thing is we mentioned in the punish cutter pickup. This is all it takes to route things back. Try to go for the throw, did not give it to a button right after though. Could have been way more. That being said with the fireballs, there is the slide. But we do have the variance that won't come through as much. Oh, the combo not able to happen though.
Oh, this is the pressure we were looking forward to. Hikaru, how do you lay on the threat, the consistent threat, punish, counter, goddamn! The double-double with animal-style fries. This guy, Hikaru, what a punish. He just sat there.
Oh, speaking of punishes, though, DI gets a bucket ball. Careful your drive gauge. Blue throw, fireball or slide. OD. For the DI, he tried to DI him right back, but the fireball saves the day. What? Oh, we're getting aerial with it. Not afraid of the anti-airs that have been coming through. Perfect kill for Torimeshi.
What do you do about this as Hikaru now? Oof. With the punish counter throw. Down forward though, that is. Torimeshi sitting in full screen.
Pulling it again. Fireball, the comet as well, perfect parry, trying to cover the approach, trying to get the bar up. He has not been able to find the timing that driver heavy kick to hit. Torimeshi has been able to catch that, punish it, put him in burnout now. Oh, oof. Yeah, nice little air to air.
Oh, and he was forced to block the comet? That was kind of sick. The comet was still active at the air to air. Air ball. Parry. Lightning beast coming in. Torimeshi does get the drive reversal. One touch for Torimeshi. Any limb will do it. That's fine. Totally fine for Torimeshi.
Be way worse. The button channel land. Two interactions, drive reversal to back it up to stop that from happening. Teleport. Jab, jab, no throw. One significant anti. He's got the range. He's actually going to go in right now with the fireball to back him up. The shimmy. Oh, you get shimmy by Sim. What do you mean?
Crazy, by the way. My man did like a half step forward, half step back, and it felt like he was taking forever to get from one place to the other, and he still managed to be outside of the range of the grab. Nuts.
Crazy work. You know, the matchup, being what it is, as we preface, you see parts of it, but not the whole picture. Because Hikaru is so new on the Blanca, he's not able to find the timings. He understands what to do. It's the timings that just aren't there. The jump fierce, clearing him more continuously. The fireballs, as mentioned, are covering the approach on the grounded area. And like we haven't really seen like a slide or the range for even sides to even work out. So before he could even get it, he's losing half of his health. There have been some great moments, some level 2 moments, but there have been moments where Tormeshi's like, I'll take this throw, bro. I don't care. Like, whatever, man. Like, I'm still of more health than you. It's one more interaction. And it's one of those things where Torimeshi has had more experience fighting Blancas over and over again, months after months, versus Hikaru recently picking up Blanca. So, personally, I think if you're trying to win right now, you switch. Maybe try to get your Blanca ready for the playoffs. That's cool. But if you're trying to secure yourself a further spot, switch to Aki.
まあ当たった時のリターンが非常にあるということで、こうヒカルもうまく使っていたんですけど、そう上からジャンプ。
I wouldn't mind that strategy at all. But Hikaru seems pretty adamant about this Blanca pick. He is going in for the timeout after all, conversing with his teammates. I don't necessarily think his Blanca is all the way sharpened up, but he had some pretty good looks, and he had some pretty damn high-end conversions off of these punish counters. And also his setups for Blanca-chan looking real good as well. I think Torimeshi, though, just slightly 2 steps ahead. So it's like, I don't think he did too poorly.
Yeah. Maybe the first thing is to be a little bit better. I'm not sure if he had more time to grind it out, but it feels like the full game plan is understood but not there in the match. And, you know, Torimeshi, again, being so adept to change up the times of his jump fierce, for example, so he's not getting hit with a driver's heavy kick, or the heavy kick in general is the anti-air approach. The way he's structuring the fireballs, the way he made him land on the fireball so he's holding that chip pressure. Those are well-done structuring moments that he has made for months upon months versus, again, Hikaru not having everything fully down packed. So if you're Hikaru, if you're gonna go for the Blanca, if you're willing to stick with the character, or you're trying to stick with the character, you have to make the magic happen whenever knockdown that you get, or whatever moment that you get has to be a lot more in terms of what your conversions are, your knockdowns are. I don't know what you can fully do at this point. I would like to see the Aki, honestly, but if you're sticking with the Blanca, we'll see what he's got, what his team is telling him to do. I don't know. Hopefully it's switched, in my opinion. But Torimeshi, though, man, that guy is good. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. We've seen him work in those matchups he listed that are so bad, Cammy and Blanca. We've seen him fight Rashid just fine. Matchups that are on paper bad for him, he has found ways around to stop and stuff. The approaches that would usually be a problem for Sim, he prevents that from happening. Part of it's the movement, part of it's the fireball structuring. He's just really dang good at keeping you out.
Yeah, we'll see if he can continue that on with the way that Torimeshi's been playing. I want to see like what changes are going to be made from the side of Hikaru. The keep out game's been rather strong. Let's see if he can get another game under his belt.
Oh, see, right idea, just the timing. Okay. Knocked down, but float on out of there. Once again, escape immediately. Torimeshi, flying, movement base when it comes to the sim.
Torimeshi still maintaining this life lead against Hikaru is a little bit problematic too. We do see the fake out with the Blanca ball initially. Trying to set himself up within the range to get a jump in, but Torimeshi is absolutely ready. The arc coming in on the other side. I like the parry.
OD, the fake out, almost gone on the shimmy scenario. One more touch in the corner, but definitely not out of options. Can't try to DI, you don't have the help to play with. And there's the DI with Torimeshi. He recognized, he saw the lacking bar. He went on in. Set point. Immediate interruption with the same immediate kick. It's a side switch, punish counter. Wow.
Do you think they'd ever make a life-size Blanca Chandal? Like one-to-one to Blanca?
I hope not.
I hope so. That'd be kind of sick.
Cool.
It would be, yeah.
Put that in your house?
Like, kinda. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it. Either way, Torimeshi, not really much to think about for the side of that W. That was actually too easy for him. He was so ready for it. I'm like, got my fingers up. He's like, nip him out, cut it out. Hikaru, go back to that Aki.
Oh, he said, cut him out. Maybe that's what I would have meant. I don't know. Either way, though.
Peace out.
No idea. Oh, peace out. That's what that was.
Either way, right. I honestly thought they were scissors too. That's why I said he's got to cut it out, bro. That Blanca, get it out of here.
Yep.
They're ready for prime time. Not ready to get somebody that's so studious in the game overall too as well, that has been through the ringer of bad matchups and knows how to prevent you from coming through. That's the name of the game when it comes to Sim, but even more so in terms of like the access points. He saw the heavy kick, he got hit by that. He's like, I'm not gonna let that happen too much to me. The Blanca balls at all, and the fireballs to stop that from happening. The neutral approach to stuff, and then we saw him initiate. When you see a Sim initiating in a difficult matchup for them, like doing like drive rush back, medium kick and things like that, it's over, bro. You put it on the controller because look at that, stopping the drive rush right there. It was just too much. I think in a few months he'll be ready, but just not for prime time. That leaves one final match, Yanai on the board, and I have to say we gotta send out Higuchi. I'm with you in terms of saying, I mean, you don't have a choice, excuse me. Yamaguchi's only for the extra position, so it has to be Higuchi. And Higuchi, I saw him practicing the matchup and trying to find little bits of tech and trying to fight Bison, in terms of like the close range gameplay, using a lot of like drive, rush, stand, light kick to initiate real strike throw hours, get the knockdowns, and go from there. Bring up the Sonic Boom approach so you can't really always reliably OD Psycho Crusher through those, and trying to combat something that's still pretty difficult, all things considered, for Guile.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on like if Yanai is willing to sit still. Or actually, I should say it's whether or not Higuchi's kind of like notice Yanai sitting still. I'm almost certain that Higuchi has gotten like a lot of the Bison matchups down pat in general. He does have, actually, funny enough, there are no Blankas, sorry, no Bisons in his current like score, in his current like score sheet. Like he hasn't fought off against any of the other Bison players in this division. So I would imagine like he's very cognizant of like people's movements as to when to throw out Sonic Booms, like whether or not he notices a Bison player charging. So I don't know if OD Psycho Crusher is really going to be like a matter of like getting past the Sonic Booms, unless Yanai really masks it well.
He's gonna have to hide that with like stand medium kick, like dash up pokes and things like that behind. If you're dashing up, you're obviously losing your charge. But again, you're gonna have to hide that intention, right? The one thing that's good in this matchup though for Bison is the aerial approach. Like Guile has some good anti-airs, but a lot of them can get stuffed and stopped by foot dive, by Devil's Reverse. If you kind of guide past, that can also avoid a flash kick. More often than not, you're able to avoid what he wants to do and get a fat punish right after. So in terms of the matchup overall, like if you take the aerial approach and you're able to make it uncomfortable for them on the ground first and then go aerial, it's hard for Guile to stop what Bison wants to do overall. But again, Higuchi, he's a lab rat. I'm sure he's got these scenarios down pat and is ready for this. If he's going up, there's a reason.
ずっとこの瞬間は考え続けて、勝ってね。My man's in a lot of open space. I'll tell you what. He's gotta check his audio. Higuchi's definitely gotta check his audio. But either way, we are getting the interview, and also Momochi yelling at Higuchi from across the I guess the Zeta Division compound. I'm sure he had a lot to say in regards to the interviews, but either way, I'm actually kind of curious to see like how Yanai approaches this matchup more so than like Higuchi. I think so outside of OD Psycho Crusher, I like the use of Stomp to reset timing, or sorry, like the Devil's Rise, or even like Devil's Reverse if need be, if he catches Higuchi not crouching. I think Bison's got plenty of ways around Sonic Boom this time around, or actually like it's pretty similar to like previous iterations, but I think like even using those ideas to get around Sonic Boom or even like a drive rush afterwards for like a space trap, I think it'll be just fine. We got the McBison? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm drive rushing. No perfect carry there. Nice walk up jab, getting a nice little counter combo. Back this ender. There we go. Trying to go for the throw. One thing that also could happen is if you're charging his guy, well, that's an easy overhead that could happen for Bison. Let's see if we can latch onto that.
Rather difficult to contest right now. Yanai is pretty much dry in drive gauge. This is the perfect time for Higuchi to be a bully. We talked about that Devil's Reverse. Getting around the Sonic Boom.
And with the medium. Oh, the reset overhead to save the bar at the bottom. You're so smart. That's a Higuchi special right there. No side of prize. Try to go for it again. The interruption is there for the crouching medium kick. You know, I said no more.
What a block on the overhead too. The Psycho Mind still applied. What a time to drive reversal.
It was clean and pristine.
Yeah, there we go. Oh. Dude, everything's coming together, dude. Yanai also going with the Shadow Rise into the Stomp to stop the drive rush. Dude. Everything's coming up Millhouse for Yanai.
Got the answers. The question remains, can you stay solid during burnout? Let's fall on the fireball, but back in the green, the DI's able to hit. Oh, that was nasty. The lockdown. 3-piece. Trade. Want me to kick the soap off, but that's too close. Punishable. Last 6 punish income with the back fist ender. Drive reversal tried to hide in the Psycho Crusher. Drive reversal was there. Blocks out the overhead, was aware.
Yeah, Higuchi not even trying to throw out a Sonic Boom from this range. Doesn't even want to get struck with the Fierce, but it's Yanai now in burnout. Higuchi, his time to strikes. A little bit problematic for Yanai. Or so we thought! Dash up into the CA, no charge necessary. Batteries are included in this Happy Meal.
To dash off a super like that, you're 9. A lot of bar though. The bombs on equalize anti-air there with the crouch Pierce. Perfect parry. There's a button right after we try to play yours. Like that, making it ambiguous with a stomp where he's gonna land.
I feel like every move that Bison does, you have to add like Mick to it. Like Mick Scissors, Mick Stomp, Mick Psycho Crusher. It just makes sense.
It does, Mick Rise. I'll take a Mick Rise. Try to activate, kill that drive gauge, help kill the character.
every time he drive rushes, just drive through instead.
Ooh, I like that so far, But Gucci, staying Gucci right now. This man is golden. Well, that's the matchup so far. Surviving the access points that Bison would like to do. There are times where we do see OD Psycho Crusher happen, but not enough where he's deterred from throwing out fireballs. His buttons are great. Surviving the burnout scenarios as well. It's also, you know, I have to expend a lot more on his side of things to get going, and it's not enough for him so far. So we'll to see what the adjustments are.
I'm still thinking about like what type of Happy Meal toys would come from the McBison. Honestly, I don't even know. Blanca-chan for sure. That's free.
Yeah.
Maybe like a mini Suzuki bike. Maybe like a mini Suzuki bike. You know.
Ooh, okay.
Like the mini version of Jury's bike, perhaps.
You know what they gotta have is a Mago bobblehead too. They gotta have one of those.
A Mago.
With the
McMago? Yeah.
McMago?
I would actually love like a Mago bobblehead doll. That would be pretty good.
A Gucci. Nice, perfect. Nice, perfect play so far from Higuchi in terms of dealing with Bison. The way he's routing this matchup back in his hands has been nothing short of amazing. And again, I feel like a lot of DRCs are happening that aren't leading to too much, or a lot of drive gauge usage in general hasn't led to as much as Yanai would like it to. He's been in burnout a little bit too often, which is leading the charge, or letting Higuchi lead the charge and get the health lead up in the first place. We'll see if it remains though. There's still things that he's doing right. Again, the aerial approach is really good. The variance of that is really good too as well. The skates up over the anti-airs that are presented, but it needs to be a lot more.
Yeah, you know, a lot really revolves around like Bison's drive gauge usage to pursue after like Cycle Mine, whether it be like drive rush after the knockdown or even like going into like a heavy hitting combo. He's rather expensive, right? Like especially OD McScissors. Going into that pops him up even further to allow the extension of the combos to lead into like another set of Cycle McMines. So it really is dependent on how Yanai utilizes his, I think his drive-through mechanics to get in against Guile. Whether he pulls up on the first window or the second window, it really depends on his drive gauge.
You too clean, bro. You different. And you're making me hungry. Relax. But you're right about all that. All that assessment is actually perfect in terms of like utilizing the drive gauge in the proper way and not burning out too much in terms of calories. We'll see what happens here, though. I want to see a little bit more walk forward, stand medium kick pressure. A little more stand fierce every so often for the plus frames. If we go for some drive rush, maybe hit that back heavy kick, the evil knee, every so often.
Possibly, yeah. If he can score that knockdown. We had a temporary counter hit for a limited time only, but not going to be much out of it. Yanai getting right into the... Oh my God, the flash kick right into the McRibs.
Damn. They're back? Nice. Dash up, yeah, save the bar. Had to do so. Select stores only. All right, the trade.
Eight-piece nugget combo. Drive impact. Denied.
That in between the screen, able to jump out. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. The big button to stand fierce. Find success.
Hell yeah.
Put the man to Mick rest. Yanai.
I like that. Coming in with the McFierce. Always available at any hour of the day. Oof!
Oh, back to center, of course. Bomb is on, level 3. More enough damage if he needs it. So many routes he can go for, drive reversal, but that's bar, that's spit right there. Gucci on the deficit. Oh, he's like a crusher, able to hit level 3. Unlimited Mig Cycle Crushers incoming. All you can eat.
Damn, son, for a limited time? That's wild. I love the McValue of the level 3 that he used there, right? He got like maximum efficiency for the McBison dollar. It's been really good.
Yeah, good trade-off, good trade-off. Game to game right now, all even, and again, more button uses, the ones that we were expecting, and also drive gauge uses, way better off than what we saw previously. Doesn't have the drive rush light kick though, flash kick ender.
Ooh. I'm surprised that Gucci didn't go for the McDonald's color, actually, if I'm being honest with you. Like, why didn't he? He did it last week, right?
Oh yeah, he did. Yo, manager fight, that should have been what this was. A McFight. Anti-air. There we go. Crouch fierce. Knows which one to utilize.
Ooh. I like the double up on that one. The 2-piece coming in from Higuchi. Trying to secure a third game. Medium kick the check. Fierce swinging away. Knocking on the door. The big tick throw. I like this. Level 1 coming in now.
Then red lands. Careful of the drop gauge. Deny. The shimmy scenario. Trying to go with the scissor kick to initiate. The punish instead. The meaty boom coming through. Come with the impossible burger. Anti-air, air to air.
Damn.
Impact.
You gotta say it, bro. That was definitely the Mick impact, dude. Higuchi. Walking away. Yo, it's been really back and forth in regards to like McDoubling up the rounds. Higuchi got 2 straight. Yanai got 2 straight. Very, very competitive.
So who has that McGreen, right? Who has more bar to utilize? Perfect parry. The hard knockdown with the sweep off the feet. McCycle crusher. Take him towards the corner with the tech right after. Oh, nice to confirm. Overhead bomb is on. Looking like Grimace right now.
Oh,
what a wake up.
Out of it, too. Out of the front of the mind. Pretty important, man. Higuchi jumping on in. Deny. Trying to lay on the pressure. Drive gauge again. Being drained off of the drive rushes with OD. Speaking of OD, put himself into burnout for good reason. He got himself an order of the number 13. I like that. Let me get that super size. American portions.
Feed a whole village. The follow-up though off that medium. The charge, the cycle crusher. Charge with the level 1, he was already out of there. Oh, the back fist to start things off. You know what's about to hurt. Level 1, safe up set up, maybe? No, the blade first. That's so cheap. Look at the drive gauge, it's all gone. He set himself up to get that big chip.
It's tough, man. Look at all the damage coming in, just hailing in from Higuchi. And you don't have any bar to mess with. You don't have any bar to play with. That drive-thru was closed. My man pulled up, and they said to Yanai, sir, this is a Wendy's. That's actually so difficult to even try to get out of. Oh, give me that.
Big old McBait. Bouncing the bomb right after. It's like heavy kick. Probably trying to do something. But it don't matter. You are dead, son. Or close to. Oh no, hold on now. It's Bison with level 2. What are we saying?
Oh, the perfect. I like that. Yo, Yanai with the rebuttal.
So far, well done. Again, adding more buttons. And again, who keeps the drive gauge up as much as possible? In different ways, but for the similar effect. You're not getting the burnout, don't get harassed continuously. People do things that you want to do and initiate. Oh, you try to go for the throw right there. Should have come into a button.
Forward throw. Overhand and it connects! Put the fries in the bag!
Oh, you flash kick. Hold on now. Driver stand line kick. Avoids the throw, but there's the flash kick right after it though.
Oh my god, these guys are slugging. They're fighting for the last McFlurry before the ice cream machine supposedly breaks.
This is mine. No, it's mine. Oh, he coming in the stand, medium kick.
Crazy.
Oh, Gucci with a clean jump in. I'm loving it.
We gotta get fired after this, I think.
We're not coming back after this.
I don't think so.
Drake. Bazooka need to
It's
initiate.
Yanai's fault, man. This is definitely Yanai's fault. Like, he picked the McDonald's color.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect, man? Ooh, the overhead.
Level 3, hold this salt. We love to see you smoke, and we love to see you not fucking these overhead. Higuchi, 3-2.
If you ever ask Higuchi what kind of sauce he wants his McNuggets, it's definitely sweet and sour. I'll tell you what, man. He got the W for Zeta Division. Rather sweet, but it's rather sour for the side of FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. I think with this W for the side of Zeta, with 210 points now? Let me double check. 210 points. I think they might have solidified their third place. I think it's over for the rest of the teams. With that W, Zeta Division locks in their playoff position at third.
That's it. It's sad to say, but that's it. Zeta Division, well done to get that W. Putting the hopes and dreams on the golden child, the prodigy, Higuchi coming through. That means reject. Hiroshima Team Itsuka and Zeta Division Geekly will be at the playoffs. But unfortunately, DetonatioN, FocusMe, VARREL, and FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN are out of the running. I want to say big ups to all those teams at the bottom, to be honest. Like, they did a really good job. I feel like a lot closer than other seasons where I feel like we get to like the 3/4 and 2 teams were already out. Like, that was over. But man, was it well fought all the way through. Zeta Division, well done for them. And they're going to have Yamaguchi when it comes to like the playoffs, even more so in their toolkit. But damn, you had 3 players for the majority of the season and you cooked up this much? Well done to them. Well done to them. This was still back and forth. That being said, but man, did Higuchi stay within the green as much as possible. And he will be not the one that putting the fries in the bag. But man, the resets, the drive gauge deletion, perfectly done.
Yeah, I gotta say that was probably one of the hottest matches we've had in a while, I think, in terms of like the action, the pace of the action as well between any of the teams so far. I think that might be in contention for one of the top 3 moments, top 3 like matchups in Division F. I'm thoroughly surprised and thoroughly impressed by both like Yanai and Higuchi. Like when it comes to like overall presence in the meta of Street Fighter, I feel like Yanai isn't talked about as much, but I think he's one of the stronger candidates for showing like vast improvement like season after season. Yanai's always been like one of my favorites to watch.
He is definitely one of my favorite Bisons to watch in terms of like tech, decision making, defensive decision making, things like that. I feel like he is at that top spot. He just has some unfortunate run-ins in terms of like some of the tournaments that we've seen him in offline and sometimes online. But I feel like he is so strong and he's, as you mentioned, improved so much from previous seasons that they can rely upon him as an anchor position to either cut it close or take W's. Because I feel like most of the games that we have with him cut it super close or he's taken a big win. So I feel like it's never really him getting washed over completely. I just think that FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN's team had great players that just haven't found their way fully and some characters that are hard to implement in the away side. Like Johnny, for example, couldn't really stand out as much because you have Marisa and Manan. Those two don't intersect that much in terms of covering their bases. So it's like that person can only be utilized in like the home position, only certain instances. And even then, Higuchi had won that matchup. So it kind of sucks.
It is rather rough, right? But it's not to say like, I mean, Zeta Division had a pretty good like understanding of like where to put certain characters in certain orders. I would have loved still to see Hibiki pull out the Aki against Torimeshi's Dalsum. There were some pretty good choices, pretty good decision making, at least in the first game, in the first round from Hibiki. But overall, I think if Torimeshi kind of like steps on the gas with his offensive pressure, there wasn't much that Hibiki could kind of like do to get around it. So I still like this order. I am a firm believer of this order, and they still walked away with the W today to secure their point into playoffs. Now it's just a matter of like fighting amongst the three. Again, to reiterate, Reject has 270 points. Team Ikuza has 250, and then Zeta Division now has 210. So with Zeta Division, let me take a look at the scheduling. They have to fight against Hiroshima Team Ikuza. So there is a possibility to slightly take over them depending on like what the match differential is amongst those two teams. There is a possible 250 point tie if Zeta Division 40-0s Hiroshima Team Ikuza. On the other hand though, let's say Ikuza does get a W. It really depends if they get like a 30 or a 40. Let's say like most likely 30, right? Let's just maybe say
they're gonna be fighting
at the minimum, right? If they get 30, puts them at 280 points, and it really depends on if Reject does well. If Reject gets blown out 0-40, which has like probably it yields like the smallest percentage, but there is hope for it. That's the only way for Hiroshima Team Ikuza to surpass them, I think. Because even if they do tie, I still think Reject has the better record.
Well, that matters to be in that top spot, so they're still going to be gunning for as many points as possible in the next episode. You know, obviously, the other teams are going to be gunning to stop them and play spoiler, but that does secure our playoffs. Just a matter of who's going to be where. Interview time. Yamaguchi says, Gucci did a great job. I'll be able to play for the playoffs, so I'll do my part in the playoffs with that mind. Momochi says, we didn't have our order ready today, so I went in the first game to make the flow going, but today was Higuchi's day. They didn't even have the order ready. You came up to the drive-through and said, but you know what? It worked out in the end. Momochi, well done, start things off, ending it with Higuchi. Hikaru says, I was pretty confident on the blocker recently, but unfortunately I could not win today. The team was really strong. Great work.
Wow, you just gonna pull up to the guy and just be like, can I get a... just wait and hold up the line? That's crazy. I'm actually kind of surprised to even see that. To see Momochi even like mention that. So actually, now that the season's near over, I actually have to ask the producer this question. Is Yamaguchi free to reign in any position in the playoffs now? Considering Yamaguchi was only allowed to play in the reserve spot due to like a technicality of like switching out for Kakeru mid-season. I do want to know that, because if Yamaguchi's able to play and he's rocking out with Mai in any position, I think that makes them much more of a threat.
10 times more. Be able to play around your players a lot more, have them in the extra position, have the other players be in the extra position, Yamaguchi in any position being a Mai player. And if y'all have watched him, he's gotten like almost top spots, like 17th over at CEO recently. Not recently, but over at CEO. He's done well in the offline tournament. I feel like with that Mai, he could be dangerous. Like, that's not just a normal Mai guy. That's a real deal Mai dude, right? You know, feel me? Mochi says, though, got to the playoffs. We still have one more episode. We'll do our best to get as many points as possible for the standings. We're going to be in that prime position, in first place position, to be able to avoid having to fight more than you have to. And you want to be in the home side, too, as well. So that's also good. But either way, that's going to be determined in the next episode. The other teams, unfortunately, that means that they are out. That is FocusMe, IBUSHIGIN, and VARREL, they're out. But they put up a great fight. Again, like, when I look at the previous seasons, I feel like this was not nearly as close. And this was all coming down to the wire up until this point.
A lot to reconsider going into it, right? Zeta might have access to their full composition at any certain point in regards to like the playoff spread. I am totally curious about that answer. I'm going to get that fully and like officially stamped going forward. I know Mobaj has actually mentioned it in the chat, but during regulation season, Yamaguchi was strictly used for the extra match only. But let's take a look at the points, right? There is a possibility for Hiroshima Team Ikuza to possibly go all the way if they could score maybe like a 40 bomber, perhaps. Maybe even 30 points to get 280 under their belt. But the top three, it's locked in: 270, 250, 210. Reject, Hiroshima Team Iguza, and Zeta Division Geekly. I do want to obviously shed some light towards like the bottom three teams. I think they did a phenomenal job. I think all of these players are worth giving a shout out to, and also worth following along on their respective journeys throughout their streams. Do them a favor and just like tune in if you can. Outside of Street Fighter League Japan, they're so entertaining to watch. Even if you don't speak the language, I think there's so much merit in just watching how they play in certain ranked matches. So please give them all a follow if you can.
These players also speak English. You know, Itazan does. I think Yanai does a little bit as well. So you can also chat it up with them and ask them a few basic questions, but just give them support for all their hard efforts and work throughout Street Fighter League and in the offline seasons that we see too as well for CPT. So give them love. But that does solidify our standings, as you mentioned, for our playoffs in terms of who's there, but who will be there and where in terms of positioning. Well, we'll find that out in the next episode for sure. But man, this has been a really good season for at least Division F overall. Again, in contention to the second to last episode. Once again, I don't remember it being like that in previous episodes or previous seasons at all. Like, I don't recall it being this close, or at least at a point where it felt like all the teams still had a chance in the second to last episode. But we're gonna get a look at the graph in terms of what has been going on. You know, Retech obviously keeping strong. Look at the boost up after a slight divot and keeping that same energy. Hiroshima Team Itsuka. This is the next match we're going to be seeing. Division S is coming up. This may change. Actually, it's going to be VARREL versus DetonatioN FocusMe, FUKUSHIMA versus Reject, ZETA versus Hiroshima for Division F. Division S will be this, though. Seoul, Nagoya NTB Oja, Grenade Squad, for Fabu Gaming, Crazy Raccoon, and CIG Osaka.
Oh my god, I can't believe we're already at like the 10th episode. It goes by mad quick, and I'm kind of upset about that. Like, there's a lot to really consider. Going into it as well, like Division S, just to kind of keep you guys posted, Division S, obviously on the 21st. Good A Squad with 260, Nagoya with 230, Crazy Raccoon with 190. Funny enough, the bottom three still have a very, actually, two of them have a valid chance, like Fabu Gaming and also CAG Osaka. Some pretty good percentages of making it through, depending on how it works out. But we pretty much laid out the line for this next Division F matchup, right? It's gonna be VARREL going up against DetonatioN FocusMe, FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus Reject, and then Zeta Division versus Hiroshima Team Iguza towards the end.
So gonna be bangers. You know, these teams don't want to go out sad. They want to go out swinging. So catch this action. Even if the teams are out like VARREL and DetonatioN FocusMe, they're still going to want to go out with as many points as possible and hold their heads up high, as they should. They've been playing amazing. It's just minute things in terms of strategy, character selection, that make the difference out in the league. You can't have 2 or 3 great players or great characters, but you need a lot more behind it. We've seen over in this league, over in the US league, where some of these teams are falling by the wayside that I didn't expect to see at all. But that does mean that Street Fighter League Japan is coming closer and closer towards the close, as you mentioned, towards the playoffs. As you mentioned, it's also super sad to see this end. I love watching this action every single week, being able to sit in the best seat, as the Ipes would say, in the house, commentate with you, Vicious, and being able to call this action and just watch some of the highest level of Street Fighter we get to see thus far.
Yeah, it's been quite the honor to even like be privileged enough to be called back season after season and be able to do this with you as well, and also be able to watch the meta develop with you guys. I mean, like, it's been super fun to talk about like the strategies, to joke around with you guys, but also be able to call these matches for everybody in the chat that does watch right now as it's live, or even like the following day after. It's been really, really fun. Whether you loved it or hated, I still appreciate everybody that's come through to watch. Everybody's opinions are very much so valid. Whether I have a wrong one, whether you have a right one, doesn't even matter. I'm glad we're still talking about the same fighting game, and I'm glad you guys have stuck it out throughout the entirety of the season.
Here's the schedule for November. We're almost at the end, people, and we're gonna have a World Warriors, so watch out for that. But also watch out for the US. It's coming back next week. But before that, EU will be starting this week, and they are both live. And I do mean live, so tune in. This is what it should be, and I'm glad that Capcom listened and received in kind. Watch EU, then watch the finale of US in terms of before we get to the playoffs, the second week at least, and catch all that action, and then catch the playoffs in December. We're gonna be having those on the 13th and 14th, so stay up late or watch the VOD Trophies, whatever you want to do, and then catch the World Warrior Japan 5 as we get close to solidifying a person for the singles tournament for Capcom Cup.
Man, so much still to go through before we even get to Capcom Cup. I can't believe there's going to be like a decline in the schedule around like sort of December and then like sort of January. Like, I don't even know what the hell we're going to be doing in February. Like, is that actually the time off in February for everybody to like gather their strength and get ready? Because I have no idea what's happening. And maybe like Frosty's perhaps, but that's like for the US specifically. Like, is Frosty's in February or is it in January? I can't recall.
It's in January. In January.
January, my fault, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going to be going on in those 2 months, but I do know this. You guys have to make sure to tune into the Grand Finals happening on the 31st of January. But most importantly, show some love. I know you guys have been doing a lot of pretty much staying active for a lot of the streams. Do so again next week for our brethren across the pond, Street Fighter League Europe, happening real soon, November 22nd. I'm so excited to see the commentary team, Logan hosting, as always, one of the most brilliant minds when it comes to hosting, and then some of the newer teams. South Africa is in the building, by the way, for SFL Europe. I am mad excited for that.
Love that representation. I love the representation we're seeing over in Japan. How many people are coming out to play in these World Warriors? It's still heavy hitters plus a lot more, as there's so much reverence in Japan. You see it in the support, people playing. Even if they might be out there running, they're still out here trying to find it out in the streets. And you should be watching this too as well, as the 4th one is coming at the end of this month. So tune into that and watch all this great action we're getting for Street Fighter. And if you're in the area, you can watch it publicly. Scan that QR code for the 30th, then join these cats, Aru, Hamiko, and Yas, doing the commentary team right out there, and catch who's going to get closer and closer that step towards Capcom Cup happening in March. There is so much going on for Street Fighter. Y'all are not lacking when it comes to great action. And people, it's been a great one out here at Street Fighter League as we get closer towards the playoffs. Kind of get a little sad, but also glad to see the evolution of these players, the meta. And speaking of hanging out with all of you is always a good time too.
No doubt, and we hope to continue on. I mean, we've only got 2 more episodes left. Keep on trucking until we get to there. Hope you guys have been enjoying your time. We definitely have been as well. It's been super fun to see how everything's developed and also see like the rotation of new commentators for the Street Fighter League Japan. I wonder where Naruto is. I know Naruto has been like streaming a lot. We did see Storm Kubo last week. I hope to see even more like fresh faces increasing the commentary spread, and also Frida as well, who could forget. But that's gonna be our time. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on Friday where we conclude Division S. Until then, be good to each other, be good to yourselves. We'll see you for the next one. Peace.
重要なこのリーグ戦、佳境ディビジョン F の9節。今日にして打ち上げている。強度を変えていた。完璧です。逆に伊沢は1ゲージ未満だが暴れている。立ち強からのイメージが赤い。
うますぎる。ナイス。うますぎる。おーやうますぎる。
サイレントステップ投げるのちょっと残してる偉すぎるな。バーンとなくなった。知ってたらリーサーだったか。確かに。歩きはうますぎて。いやー。残ってる。
あ、ごめん。いや、すいません。いや、まあちょっと。どんまい。ゲージじゃない。オッケー。ナイス。おいしい。
乗っけた。一発。次はヒットになっている。一発。がどう攻めるかですよ。攻めてくるところの手が伸びたところをあぶり出してもいい。ラシカミア触っている。
やべ。
ナイスだ。
やった。ハミよく勝った。いやよく勝った。よし。だ。おおやった。うわー。本当申し訳ねえ。ほんまあしゃあないな。あれにするかね。まあしゃあなしです。勝ちが見えて焦ったわちょっと。どんまい。
さあ自信ありといいものが見せられると言ってきたこの時戸。
ガ
ーッと歩いてくる。何もくれない7番勝負の SA1 パリ構えている。自信あり。
いやー、うまかったな。いや、すいません。
いやいや、しゃあないしゃあない。
ナイス。いや、うまかったね。
危なげないな、マジですげえ。完璧ですね。
ああ、もう気合い入ったし、うわー、出した。
ゼロ回どこで使うか。
ここで来たね。とっておきの勝負どころブレイキン。
うわー、ごめん。お疲れした。あ、です。すいません。
登場ね。行くよな、さすがに。
ナイス。やりきった。
で全員湧き上がってるっていうこの。
もうフードが負けてピンチだというじゃありませんか。
はい。
頑張りますよ私は。
お任せあれ。
頑張
ってください。
かなり倒し切りが。
うでー。そっちなんかい。そっちなんかい。と。ああ、漏れていてしまった。タスキョーリーチを見て。
いやー、カクカクパンだよな。
うわ
ー。シートスか。
お疲れお疲れ。
いや、お疲れです。
ほんまにすみません。
いや、しょうがないっすわ。
しょうがなすぎる。
あれコパンやったつもりが。いや、マジで申し訳ない。
読み勝ったことで、上原ショートで有名マスターじゃないかなっていう。
ナイス。おい、ちょっとあれおかえり。おかえり。
ラストチームマッチ、福島いぶし銀対ゼータディビジョンギークリー。絶望の状況、翼中にここにインパクトをためにためて待っていた桃地の江戸。
いやー、しょうがない。
ナイスナイス。
ナイス。
画面足の位置にいるのは光る。投げで遅らせてる。これがなかなか近づけない。何当たってもラッシュショートメール攻めも。
いや
ごめん、マジでごめん。内容悪かったな。
そうだな、ちょっと硬か
痛かった。
った。
はい、ナイス。はいよ、なんにもなかった。ナイス。鶏飯節でしたね、これは。
確かに足りそうだ、十分だ。余裕もうたまるぞ井口。だー、待っていたー。守護神が攻める。ここにかける思いは尋常ではなかった井口。
あ
あ、言えんかった、早すぎて。
ごめん。
いや、ごめん、言えなかったわ、早すぎて。
言えんかったわ。
しましたね。
ごめん。いや、どまい。
ナイス、どまいっす。
うまいっす。本当にどまいっす、これは。
ナイス。ナイス。
勝利したのは樋口のファイル。
ゴリ。
トータルで。
ナイスです。やっぱ中段なんだよな。はい。
破壊しましたね。
ゴリラなんだよ。ゴリラいるんだけど。オッケーでーけ。オッケー、プレイオフ進出。
30ポイントの取得。